Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome. My name is Haloran, and I am joined by none other than Baba Booey himself. Welcome to the Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown. How you doing today, Baba? Oh, I think you're muted still.
Doesn't matter how many times I press this thing, it never unmutes. Feels bad. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing real good actually. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm excited to get some games in. We got 4 teams signed up. That's one more than 3, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
How are
kicking
you doing
off
today?
the opening week of Heroes United Season 2. This is Sweet Synergy's first time on Saturdays. I will actually be the regular host going forward, although I won't be here next week, interestingly enough. Uh, but yeah, one thing that I like about the Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown in particular is all the games are best of three, whereas on Heroes Hype and Next Verse on Fridays, only the finals I think are best of three. So you get a chance to see the teams in action more, see how they respond to different drafts and stuff. So I'm really excited to see how this is gonna get started. Um, I believe LSU and let me get the full names of the teams are actually gonna be
We got Hecarim
Ekram
from
J from
LSU.
LSU.
From Close to Death, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So let me
Do you have a contact?
yeah, I'm trying to find one of them.
In the meantime, Lauren,
Yes.
what's going on?
I'm excited, man. I was really looking forward to having an opportunity to cast Sweet Synergy Challenge. I got to cast Sweet Synergy a fair bit in season one, so when anytime I get approached to cast Sweet Synergy, I'm always enthused about it. For those who don't know, Sweet Synergy is an organization aiming at giving a haven and a proving grounds and just a growing community for female competitive players. There's a few teams across different games. Check them out. Really cool.
Definitely.
But other than
Definitely.
that, we got some vibes to catch up on later on because I definitely want to see how this Goldan's game set goes. But the action at Burbank has been insane.
Yeah.
One thing that's been interesting about Roster Apocalypse at the pro level is that it definitely has opened up the conversation for who are the top teams. And it's not just like the easy stumps that it used to be. There's a lot more diversity on that front, so curious to see how that all shapes up.
I feel like Naventic and Gale Force are still top 2. Feel like, based off what I've seen so far.
All right,
Just my gut
May
feeling, but
Beast.
we shall see. We
All right,
we shall
so
definitely see.
Baba May has given me a draft link. I will send it to you on BattleNet.
Dupe.
Okay.
There it is.
Got a friend request out to that young man. Oh wow, they're like already through the draft. Holy crap.
No one told them they had to wait. That's okay though.
Hey, I mean that just means we jump into the game sooner.
Yeah, that's what we're all about here. It's
I'll
good HOTS games
I can live
and
with that.
solid analysis, right? Yeah.
Hey, so I'll at least switch us over to that. So we can kind of. Hey, Miss Kashal, how's it going? Got invited into a custom game. All right, these guys are ready to rock and roll. I like this.
I like quick teams.
Yeah, so I'm inviting you in.
Dope, dope, dope.
Oh, Shots on one of these teams. Oh, cool, cool. Shots, Bagooter.
All right. So
This draft, though.
interesting first ban on Kerrigan. That's kind of surprising. I don't know why you'd first ban Kerrigan. It seems a little bit weird to me. unless your team doesn't play her, right? Like, she's really
Right.
good right now, so you usually just want to pick her.
Yeah, especially on Infernal Shrines, one would suspect you'd put the second team in a position where they're either going to give you Kerrigan or they're going to load their ban on Kerrigan. But like you said, if you don't have a... Hey, Mantis. 701, how's it going? If you don't have a player that's like, put me in coach. Like, I know how to play Kerrigan like that. You definitely don't want to leave her open.
Yeah, no way. And then we saw Falstad come out, and then ETC Kael'thas, which is disgusting. It's gonna be less disgusting in like 3 days, 4 days, but as of right now, it's pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
As far as team fighting goes, close to death. I mean, ETC Kael'thas is more than enough lockdown for Lunara to do what she does best. Zool will add some residual lockdown with the Bone Prison, so if someone gets caught out of position like this Greymane, or even as Falstad, Zagara to a lesser extent, they could have themselves a time. But we are loading into the game.
Yeah, pretty much. If Close to Death ever gets to pick the team fight, like, they just win.
Right.
Or they should. Hecarim, I'm just gonna say LSU. It's easier. They don't really have a lot of ways to save one person. Like, Blink Heal doesn't offer a lot of healing, and they don't have a lot of burst heal. Right? Like, would have probably preferred a burst healer. Like, you could have gone Karazim there instead of Brightwing, and that would have been my pickup. But I just feel like if Close to Death ever gets a power slide, like, that target should die 100% of the time. And we'll probably see Leaping Strike for extra burst, which would be really cool.
And Leaping Strike got a recent buff, so you do see that in competitive play more. Before, it used to be something of a question mark because it didn't really seem to be worth the risk to jump in there like that. But we are loaded into the game. It's going to be game 1 in this best 3 series, the very first game of the Sweet Synergy Saturday Challenge. I'm excited to be here. On the left side, we got LSU. It's going to be Spagooter on Zagara. Vicuri is on Greymane. The True Boy shot is on Falstad. Hecarim trying to jump over the wall on Murden. Halls rounding out the comp on Bright.
And on the right side, we have Close to Death with Keenan on Lunara, Huberman on Rhaegar, Bloodsplat on ETC, Steven on Kael'thas, and Hylic on that Zool.
A little bit of poke action from Falstad to get things started. Just saying, hey, don't try to power slide in here too quick to start this off. Both teams not really looking to engage too heavily. Bloodsplat in the bush, seeing if you can find somebody out of position, but doesn't seem like anybody's falling for that.
You're just trying to get those quick hammering stacks. Oh, but huge power slide and Gravity Lapse comes out here. Bloodspat looking to get a little bit of engaged. They're putting some damage back and forth here, Haloran, but I think they're just going to be able to walk out.
That Flame Strike might have had something to say about it, but that is Murden, so he should be okay. Definitely with this passive change that he received recently. But that should put LSU on notice. I mean, that power slide ETC burst with the Kael'thas follow-up, something to be concerned about. If that Bone Prison came in like a half second sooner, we might have been looking at the first takedown in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they also have to be really careful rotating. If you're looking at Bloodspat's positioning right now, they're trying to take advantage of anyone walking away without them. Oh, but the Gravity Lapse comes out with the power slide. Totem is down, but Shot's going to be able to barely barrel roll over that wall.
Yeah, he's going to make sure he has that cooldown to be able to jump away at all times because CTD seems to heavily favor this 4-person death ball, and with their composition, why not? You get caught with a Gravity Lapse, that's a free power slide, that's Bone Prison, slow from the totem afterwards. You want to stick close to your towers if you're not rotating like they are.
Yeah, definitely. And something to keep an eye on is this top lane with Zagara with Infest, but Hylic is walking down here. They're going to throw Bone Prison out. Not really need that too much, but nice body blocks from Kael'thas there. Just to be able to disengage. Very efficient.
Yeah, it's almost like LSU has identified that they don't necessarily have the hard engage that Close to Death has. So they're just looking to play it safe, make sure they're not missing out on any experience, wait for some of these towns to be picked up before they really start to press any sort of advantage in a team fight. Here we go, though. They do get a good amount of damage on Kael'thas, but the counter engagement is there. Steven boldly still forward enough, and a Dwarf Toss follow-up secures the kill on him. First takedown in the game.
So I'm really liking how LSU actually, or sorry, yeah, LSU has played this early game, and they played it so intelligently. They realized that they didn't have the wave clear, or they didn't have the wave clear to deal with the wave clear from the side of Close to Death. So they opted to just send 3 bottom, run a tri-lane bottom, and have Greymane rotate between top and mid. And what that did was it allowed Spagooter to just have a free lane top, get a ton of pressure off, get those gets that infest stacking, extra siege damage, and just put pressure on this wall. And if you can see already, top one's almost out of ammo, and bottom tower is actually gone. Brightwing soaking bottom right now, but it negated the advantage that Close to Death had acquired through drafting more.
Yeah, Close to Death wants to just jump out of the gate and try to get an advantage by getting kills. And we do see the Polymorph go down on ETC. That's going to be the second takedown in the game. The patience paying off further still for LSU. They definitely have a comp that lends itself towards the late game. I would imagine we'd see Nidus Network with the most value out of that. And best talent pickup. And the patience has paid off for them.
Yep. So far it definitely has. One of the things that I'm kind of sad about is that Medusa Blades doesn't stack with Nidus Network. That would have been really cool. But you don't actually get you don't get 4 seconds cooldown reduction every auto attack. So that'd be kind of good.
Could be advantageous. We do see John Cena jump over the wall, land and stun on a couple members of Close to Death. One of the towers already gone, the other out of ammo. That's gonna fall. The Arcane Punisher still over half health. They have 4 members of LSU here just looking to press, try to get their standard amount of value. Without Sylvanas or something like that, or a bunch of takedowns, that's pretty much what you get out of the first Punisher.
Yep, pretty much. And we saw the entire time we had Zool rotating between top and mid, getting those waves soaked up. So despite the fact that they lost that, Lilac getting jumped on here in the bottom lane, gonna have to pop Shade, gonna get Polymorph, looking to go down, and he does end up falling to that Arcane Flare at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valiant effort for him to try to get back, but what that says to me is that LSU, while they have played this early game somewhat passively or patiently, they definitely know how to pull the trigger and secure a good amount of burst damage. You can ask Zool about that, but in the rotation, they do catch Hecarim on Murden. The Wasp comes down, or the Wisp comes down, spots him, but I don't think they're getting a kill out of this one.
And we actually had Zagara solo out the Bruiser camp on the top side, looking to exert a little bit more pressure. I would have liked to hold off on capping that just until it actually gets a good amount of value. It's gonna be so easy for Lunar to just walk up and clear it right now and not really lose anything for clearing it, because there's nothing on the map that is going to draw them away from that Bruiser camp.
LSU showing signs of further aggression. Not only does Zagara pick up the Bruiser camp, like you said, but they managed to go over to the bottom right portion of the map, help themselves to a siege camp. The Bruiser camp is picked up by CTB now, but the Bruiser camp for LSU's already marched across. On the back foot is Close to Death right now in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the rotation game has just been played so well by LSU, despite the fact that Close to Death just has such good wave clear. It's really a testament to the knowledge of the game that they have right now. Hecarim Jake getting jumped on a little bit. They're going to have to Dwarf Toss out. Taking quite a bit of damage. They're going to have to tap the healing well, so we won't have that up for the next engagement.
They're committing pretty heavily to this Murden. Even though he's behind his towers, the power slide just misses. Hecarim is able to get onto that well. Next shrine's going to be up right around the corner. Haas almost strolled up. I think LSU's best served is waiting for their heroics. But I don't know if they're going to get the opportunity with the damage going out of Valkyrie. He does use his eyes in the dark to try to jump back. But Haas is the next target before heroics get picked up. They're going to lose their support.
Yeah, and we're seeing Valkyrie have to walk out their shot in actually a little bit of a bad position here. Gonna get hit by that bone prison as Steven looks to start us up. But oh my god, the damage onto Huberman is just barely not enough there, Lauren. We did see Nidus Network come out, so interesting pickup there for Zagara, looking to exert this global pressure, which I think is kind of smart. You have a really strong pick comp, so the idea that you don't actually want to fight, you just want to keep them in areas. But Haas getting jumped on here, gonna have to blink heal out as Hecarim Jake goes in. Ancestral just barely not connecting there, Lauren.
That burst damage, though, the Mighty Gust interrupts the Mosh Pit, and that's going to be down for the full 2 minutes. Hecarim on the chase, lands the stone on Rhaegar, continuing to advance. Dwarf tosses forward, is not able to body block them, but they do force back the members of Close to Death. And a good thing that I would point out, or something I would point out off of the Nidus Network pickup, a lot of this has been a 4v4. Zagara and Lunar up in the top lane, just continuing to soak. Lunar could not afford to leave Zagara up there, but once creep starts getting spread throughout the map, Cigar is going to be able to instantly move down here thanks to the Nidus Network. And Lunar is going to take a little bit of time to rotate down. So if they secure some kind of advantage in these team fights, quick rotation with Cigar would be really impactful. But the stuns go down, and Muradin gets deleted.
That was a lot of burst there.
Yeah, I mean, Lunara was there. That's definitely going to do it. But another Punisher gets picked up. Or LSU, but they're not in a position to do too much with this one.
Actually, I really like this play to kind of keep it outside of the force and not even to get any value out of this Punisher whatsoever. But Power Slide comes through, as so does the Thornwood Vine, and Bone Person's going to connect on Zool, but he's just be able to walk out. Nice, very nice gust there from Shot to disengage.
Yeah, Shot has been really on point with these Mighty Gusts. He interrupted the mosh pit last time. He identified that situation could have taken an ugly turn for LSU. Resets the team fight, pushes them back. Next to no value out of that Punisher, but if anything, it denies the Punisher from close to death and just kind of keeps this slight advantage for LSU, biding their time to get into this mid and late game.
Yeah, and I actually want to talk really quickly. I feel like Lunara should not have taken Thornwood Vine here. The goal of their comp is to pick someone and blow them up really quickly and then snowball the fight from there, right? They're running the ETC Kill Toss combo. Generally, what you just want to do with that is Power Slide, Gravity Lapse, kill someone. And when you take Thornwood Vine, you're looking for extended fights with a lot of spread damage. Whereas the comp, but as I say, this Muradin getting jumped on here, gonna have to Dwarf Toss out in their resistance, but having to pop Avatar 2 here, gonna try and walk out, but it looks like he's gonna be able to do it there. Very nice disengage.
Yeah, I mean, a small victory for CTD is that they were able to get the Avatar out of him, but I know that they were looking for a lot more than that. The long-range Gravity Lapse with the Power Slide follow-up on Hoss does a good amount of damage to him. Polymorph goes out on Kel'Thas. Ancestral Healing resets the mage's health bar. Hooperman's the next person getting a ton of damage put on them. Shot's going to secure the kill there. Steven's trying to get around the corner. Lunara, the next to fall. Steven on the ropes as well, less than 100 health. That's going to be 3 for 1 so far. ETC is going to go down as well.
Yeah, the bottom lane there, Lunara just getting killed, almost pretty much soloed out there by, or actually completely soloed out there by Greymane. Zool not able to help quite enough. Didn't actually get to watch the full thing, but again, like, I feel like with this comp and with the way you want to play this style, Leaping Strike would just have been better. You get more burst, you get more single target focus, and you can stay alive against the Greymane a lot longer with Leaping Strike than you can with Thornwood Vine.
Yeah, definitely agree. Burst is definitely the name of the game for their composition, and with Brightwing not taking cleanse at 7, I feel like they can definitely get some value out of, timing this lockdown and burst together more. We'll have to see what kind of talents Lunara takes at 16. See if they can try to, salvage some of those choices. Like, there's a lot of poison synergy that locks in, but the Mosh Pit in the top lane might secure a kill. The Gravity Lapse follow-up, tons of damage going out. Falstad explodes. The Chain Bomb just barely is able to not go on the Hoss. That could have been rough, but the stun goes out on Muradin. And looks like CTD is looking to throw their weight around.
Yeah, he does have to pop Avatar there to help him get out, but oh my god, the damage from Lunara's poison right now is so real with that unfair advantage at level 13. Just absolutely shredding through the health bars. The one thing that I want to talk about really quickly and just kind of point out is that the way you're building Brightwing right now is with the Mystify build and with it's your passive build. It's your Soothing Mist build. So what it does is it just provides lots and lots of ticks of AoE, point-blank AoE healing, which, yeah, is really good. The problem with it, again, is that you have no single target shielding. And what we saw was Falstad just got absolutely deleted. And so did Greymane. Greymane was forced out of the fight pretty much immediately. So we talked about this during draft, well, after draft, is that they don't have any burst healing. They don't have any way to keep someone alive once they get jumped on. And while this build is great, and keeps your whole team alive, you have no defense against this burst.
Yeah, and in that, these team fights are in a lot of ways close to death to lose. They have the lockdown, there's no cleanse there. As long as they can do exactly what they just did on Shot right there, the poison is going to be enough to take down Falstad. They're going to be able to continue this advance. Over on the side, Spaguda with the flank shows up. Stun goes out on Bakuri. John Cena jumping in again. Muradin has to Dwarf Toss over the wall. The root from the Frozen Punisher. Hoss is able to blink heal out of there, but now they're on even talent tiers. Close to Death is ready to rock and roll. Punisher goes down. You're going to start backing away.
Yeah, and Close to Death was winning that down talent tier. That's the power of this draft right now. You give a team ETC a Kael'thas, and you have to be prepared to deal with the burst. And unfortunately, it just doesn't feel like they are prepared to deal with it. As this game goes later and later, we might see like them start to adapt and position slightly better, because if you position well enough, then the burst healing isn't as necessary. But right now, it's looking a little bit scary.
Yeah, I mean, close to death, they seemingly have started to map out the blueprint to secure some of these team fights. Again, I think the lack of cleanse is absolutely integral to at least the engage of these team fights. LSU pretty much has to respond and wait for this burst damage to go out on them, and then the question becomes, are they going to be able to survive it long enough to put their own kind of damage in there? But it's more or less, don't get moshed, don't get power slid, because if a bunch of people get locked up in that, it's going to be rough.
Because exactly what just happened to Victory is what's going to happen to you, right? You're just going to get absolutely shredded. That was only Kael'thas's damage. There was no one else there, and he just got he pretty much got soloed out. Like, it's kind of disgusting, and I want to bring it back to draft again, because what we saw LSU do was draft their 3 DPS heroes and then their tank and support last 2. And the problem with this, and it's what you see a lot in Hero League, is that you don't have a lot of flexibility when you do that, because you run this. You show what your team comp is pretty much. You can only change that so much. When you pick something like your support in that early rotation, you can switch it up. When you see this crazy burst comp come out, you can say, okay, well, we need a Tassadar. We need like an extra healer. We need DPS Lily, right? Like you need something to help out your team, and showing your hand so early is definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point, and some of those decisions in draft are really starting to come to harvest now, as Close to Death's going to start pushing in this bottom lane. The advantage is definitely start to slant towards them. The power slide from Bloodsplat on for Curry, but it's actually ETC that's going to fall first. That ragdoll, though. Avatar gets popped for Murden. Hecarim trying to do what he can to stave this off. The Bone Prison goes down. Polymorph goes out on Lunara. I don't know if they want to chase this, though, with Greymane on this low health.
And the engage continues to go out as Hecarim J taking a lot of damage, but we're going to see Shot flying, looking for the very nice Mighty Gust onto 3. Polymorph goes down Traeger. He will not be able to heal as Hylek and Steven just going to go out. Steven looking to just sacrifice his life a little bit so Hylek will be able to run away, but he does take tower aggro up there as Hylek goes down too. Keenan able to get out. So overall, a 3 for nothing in a situation where ETC just overextended.
Yeah, I mean, that was a high-stakes team fight all the way around. They were able to press in that bottom keep wall. That's a ton of experience. I definitely understood why they did that. They arguably stayed there for a hair too long, because even losing people, they lost the top keep. I didn't even realize that until just now. Split push potential is the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. They kind of, I feel like they just got scared and they're like, hey, we need to go because they're taking a top deep, like go, go, go. And then they just didn't get the good engage that they wanted. I just really quickly, very, very quick, I forgot what I was going to say. But, hey, when that happens. The way that we're seeing it played now is there's actually a slight adaptation, and they're letting the engage come out and peeling back a lot more effectively, and they're letting Hecarim J get into a good position. Remember what I was going to say, Hecarim J took heavy impact at level 16 on Murden, and I feel like someone needs to tell him that he's not unstoppable, because he's going to try and jump in to stop Mosh Pit, and he's just going to get stopped halfway through. It's a little bit of an interesting choice there.
Yeah, I noticed that when you were going over some of the talents. The Ancestral Healing does go out on ETC. It has to be used somewhat early in the proceedings. Bone Prison goes down on Murden. Plenty of healing and mana from Hoss to keep him up. Not the most amount of Punisher this late in the game, especially when you have the Storm tier talents. So right now, Close to Death is able to hold this off for the moment. They're about to hit their level 22, and I feel like that will be the moment where they try to turn something around.
Yeah, I really hope we see Death Mosh or Death Metal there. That's my favorite talent in the game. But we're seeing a huge engage onto Murden here. He's going to get CC'd up, barely able to pop Avatar before going down. Hardened Shield is popped as well, so he's going to take a lot of damage though, but the ticks and the dots are just real right now on Hecarim. Mighty Gus is used to disengage. He will be able to just barely escape Lord.
Shot has been on point with these Mighty Gus all game, both offensively and defensively. If that didn't come in at that exact moment, I think we would have been waiting for Murden to respawn. Breathing a sigh of relief. LSU, they're going to go over, get this siege camp in rapid succession. Scar down in the bot lane. Scooter was eyeing the siege camp, but I think they're going to look to invade.
We actually saw Bolt of the Storm come out for ETC, and he uses it right now to escape. So one of the things it will do is allow better engage. The Hecarim Jade looking to jump forward, try and force an engage, but just going to be able to back out. And it's been... Really, this game has been the story of who can get the better engage off. And, Hecarim, yep, exactly. The Dwarf Cross getting interrupted there as he just gets absolutely deleted. Bloodspat looking to continue this engage, though, Haloran.
I mean, Murden just got stamped out, isolated from his team, and Haas was in no position to do anything about it. If he tried to blink in there to try to keep Murden alive, he would have been dead himself. They're definitely going to look to press this advantage. The Shrine's going to be up in the top lane. Do they look to press bottom, or do they decide to rotate up? It looks like they're going for the objective instead.
Yeah, so we actually saw the reason Murden went down there is he held his Dwarf Toss, and then he went to use it and got CC'd through it. That is something that was changed recently with the patch, but I really like this decision. Coming out for the side of LSU, they're going to pressure this bot keep and force a response out of close to death.
They've gotten value out of doing this all game. The Punisher that was picked up for CTD earlier pretty much came at a cost each time. There was a commitment to the team fight in the bot lane that cost CTD the top keep. And Close to Death is entirely spooked by this. They haven't even tried to go for the objective yet. This definitely gives Murden time to get back on his feet and get back to business.
Yeah, we're seeing Zool just... I don't know why Hylik hasn't opted to start that Shrine. He could solo it out as Murden is dead, and they're just going to give up this bot keep for free. So this is kind of the experience that of the players of LSU that we're seeing right now, is being able to just take this keep and not actually lose anything for it, despite the fact that they had lost Murden earlier.
Yeah, you're down 4v5 and you come away with the bottom keep and a very strong ability to contest the Shrine in the top lane. One could do worse. Definitely shows some indecision on the side of Close to Death. But LSU's going to start rotating up. The root goes down. That's going to be on cooldown for a little bit. Shot flying in here as well. It looks like Brightwing's going to be able to teleport in later, but 29-30 around the corner. I do think this next Punisher is going to go over to Close to Death.
And Shot getting jumped on, though, getting CC through that. Phase shift does have to come in onto him, but the damage is being traded back as Murden jumps into the backline, pops Hardened Shield, looking to soak as much damage as possible. Viku going in and absolutely demolishing EDC, looking to Rhaegar now, but Keenan a little bit overextended in the backline here. Bakiri gonna end up dying to that living bomb as that tick goes down, but Shot with a nice Mighty Gust to try and lock up Keenan. Steven getting jumped on too here, Haloran, and they're just gonna keep going.
They do come away with 2 more kills. It's going to be Lunar and Kael'thas, and Hooverman has to feel bad about that. That ancestral healing saved Lunar for real. I mean, she had like 50 health or less before it landed. But at the end of it, they're going to look at a full team wipe, and with these 2 keeps down, I do believe Game 1's going to go over to LSU.
Yeah, and despite the fact that we felt like they got outdrafted, they just feel like they outplayed their opponents more. If this... I feel like they might just be a tiny bit better than Close to Death, and we're seeing it come through in the way the map rotations come out and the way the overall team fights are being played. We saw them slip up a lot in the early game where they just couldn't, kept on getting picked, they kept on walking into ETC stuns and Kael'thas Krabby Laps, and it was losing the game, and then honestly the game turned around right when ETC walked too far in and forced an engage when he shouldn't have, and it was that lack of composure that ended up costing them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you were exactly right. You definitely saw some of the character and personality in LSU's team. You had mentioned in the draft that they went for 3 damage dealers early in the draft. And what that says to me is, like, we're just going to play our game. We're just looking to blow people up. We're not worried about doing counter picks too much. We're not worried about keeping ourselves flexible. To a degree, we're not worried about what they're going to do. And they showed further confidence in feeling like, all right, well, we're just going to go for Brightwing. And even though they have the likes of ETC, Kael'thas, and Zool, we don't feel we need Cleanse. Like, in this current meta, like, Cleanse is almost a requirement against ETC alone. And then you add in Kael'thas and what he can bring to the table with multiple gravity laps and chain bomb. It's a bold strategy to go without Cleanse. But they were able to pull it out.
Yeah, it was a pretty bold strategy, but it paid off, Cotton.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
See if it pays off for him.
Well,
I thought that's what you were going for.
It's 100% what oh yeah.
I just need a blindfold and we're good.
I haven't seen anything like that since 1918 Helsinki sudden death.
Where's Chuck Norris when we need him? Last vote.
Oh yeah, man. I forget what. Yeah, it was something like that. I forget what. It was
Yeah,
exactly.
I think you got it pretty accurate.
But one thing that's cool about the Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown is that all the games are going to be a best of 3. So Close to Death have an opportunity to turn things around, try to force out a game 3. And LSU has one more opportunity to try to close us out in a 2-0 setting before moving on to the finals of Week 1 for Sweet Synergy Saturday Challenge. Looking to get the draft link, getting invited into the custom game already, so not too much of a delay. I like seeing that. Baba, I will get you invited in here as well. And
I want to give you a quick update right now between Vox and the Highlight and Cool Dan's game. It's 22 minutes in, and Gul'dan's it is currently 1-0 for Gul'dan's game. But Vox and Healy is in the lead. It's 21 to 22, but they're like pretty much 5 experience apart, and 1 keep advantage for Vox and Highlight.
Wow. So
it's definitely like Gul'dan's game was one of the teams that everyone's like, yeah, they're really good. Like they have this all-star lineup, and now they're just they're losing to Vox and Highlight, who we saw come up through the Challenger Series.
Yeah, like Vox is a team that stands to surprise a lot of people. I feel like it's not a name that it isn't the flashiest name. It's not a roster that has the most known players, so to speak. But they've just been in the amateur scene, just putting in work, on the grind, showing themselves to be strong and capable. And for people like us, Bob, that have seen the amateur scene and have seen some of these teams start to come up, it's not surprising to me that Vox would put up this much of a fight. So I think they're going to wow a lot of people and impress them. And if there are any esports organizations out there looking for a team, good luck to the old Vox and Healy over here.
And I just noticed one thing. It's a falling sword game. So that's pretty cool.
Wow. All the stops.
And we do have a draft link, and they're actually just started. They're going fast.
Yeah, man. I'm switching this over now. I was able to jump in on that. We're going to Cursed Hollow for game 2. I'm excited to see how this map is going to adjust the draft strategy. You have to play this map quite differently from Infernal Shrines.
Yeah. One of the things I'm curious to see what Close to Death bans here. You really don't want to give up Falstad again, and we saw we saw LSU last time ban out Kerrigan first, but Greymane looking to be banned here. So I guess they really felt like the Greymane was the major threat, or that the Falstad was and the Greymane combined. But since they can first pick Falstad, they're not going to look to take it away here.
Yeah, I mean that's a very that's a smart decision on the side of Close to Death. Shot in the chat just said they gave me Falstad. Feels good, man. If that doesn't make a statement about Shot's comfort on that hero, I don't know what will. But Kerrigan getting highlighted here for LSU. They do lock in that, so Falstad is in play for Close to Death. Do they take him first and take the bird away from Shot? And it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do.
I feel like what this tells me is LSU doesn't play Kerrigan. So they first banned it last time, and they are banning it now, when I feel like Falstad's more of a power pick on this map. And I think NA really highly values Kerrigan. And if you look over like Korea, they don't as heavily. And there's definitely reasons behind that. I feel like the game is on the Kerrigan player's back to win when you pick Kerrigan. Like if the Kerrigan player has a really good game, you win the game. If it's just bad game, you lose. Right? So it's very difficult to put her at such a high power level. And I also feel like there's a lot more opportunities to outplay a Kerrigan than there is a Falstad. Right? Like you can just, if you dodge the combo effectively, Kerrigan's useless.
Right.
Whereas Falstad, like, he just has to Mighty Gus and he's already more useful. So
yeah, his Q and W are more point and click. It's definitely more reliable damage that can be just as bursty. In a lot of ways, the thought I just had based off of what you said, Kerrigan is like the auto attack Jaina. It's like if the combo all lands right, it's crazy. But if it entirely whiffs, you just have a hero just kind of standing there. So it's very high risk, high reward. Some teams feel comfortable taking that risk. Some don't. Seems like LSU does not want to, and they definitely don't want to be on the other end catching those stuns. But they're showing a different card already by taking Abathur first. And they're going to show more preference for Zagara, taking some bugs to start the draft out.
This is going to be painful to watch if LSU executes this properly. Because it's just going to, like, Falstad's going to fly to a point on the map, and then you're going to get double Zagara, and he's going to have to run away. And, like, probably going to go nice, as we saw last time. One of the things I don't like is I feel like when you're playing Zagara into Falstad, if you go Nidus, Falstad just does what Zagara does so efficiently and can go anywhere, whereas Zagara has the limitation of she can only go to where a Nidus network is, right? I feel like Falstad just does a lot of what Zagara does better. Obviously, Zagara has the things she's better at, but in general, I just feel like Falstad's almost a better version of Zagara a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, Cursed Hollow's a large map, so you always get more value out of these global things, but Zagara's mobility on that front is only as good as the amount of creep and amount of Nidus rooms she's been able to lay down. Close to Death, definitely locking in more of a team fight-oriented poke style of composition. Li Ming and Falstad will serve all of your needs for range damage. Especially when you have ETC locking people down. Those cooldown resets are going to be a thing. And with the squishy lineup that LSU has so far, Close to Death has positioned themselves well, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing you have to be worried about, though, is LSU can win this game without ever fighting. Right? Already, they can just never take it full engage and just win with Zagara with their split push. So if we saw something like Leoric here, I'd be really scared. Leoric like Tassadar, and I don't know what Close to Death can do, because we actually saw it today. Gale Force played it, and it was like it's a really good comp, and it focuses really heavily on delay and rotation. And the one counter to it is hard engage and rotating effectively, as well as hard engaging whenever you can, and then taking advantage of it. And I just feel like what you need to be able to do is be so coordinated. I don't know if Close to Death has that coordination as a team.
Yeah, I mean, they showed some flashes of it in the last game, synergizing the gravity lapse into power slide, or showing the other way around, like the power slide hitting first. But they are definitely going to have to sharpen that edge of their game if they're going to try to counter out what LSU is setting up. LSU showed a lot of patience in the first game, but not looking for the hard engage at level 1, not making too heavy rotations. But once the time came for a team fight, they definitely know how to focus fire. And with options like Thrall getting picked up, the hat from Abathur, Zagara's no slouch on damage. They can definitely still look to secure kills. I like their setup so far.
So I also really like LSU's draft, but I feel like what Close to Death has to do here is pick Sylvanas, Karazim, or something similar. And right now, LSU has just picked the two best solo laners in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to deal with it is to pick Sylvanas, and they're going to have one less body in their lanes because of Abathur. So you pick Sylvanas, and you run that down a lane, and you just hard push that lane as much as you can, right? And the idea behind it is, okay, you're going to have these good soul laners, but it won't matter because we can just pressure this lane hard enough that we can take whatever we want.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been an excellent way to go. They do want some more global versatility. They're going to pick up right wing. Mama Shot, how's it going? Mama Shot. Hey. It's an interesting setup for LSU because they're just by virtue of Abathur alone, their level 1 team fight doesn't stand to be that strong. And they've put Close to Death in an interesting spot. I agree with you. I feel like Close to Death has to just rotate around and secure kills and or find a way to apply enough pressure to where LSU has to respond to what they're doing. And without Sylvanas, they're going to have a tough time accomplishing that. And if they're not able to accomplish those rotations on a map as huge as Cursed Hollow, they could lose out on both fronts. But
okay, that works too.
That works too. That works too. That works too.
Vikings hype.
Vikings. Wow. Okay. Baba, we got us a ball game here, man.
Yeah, for
I like
sure.
this.
What do you pick here if you're LSU? I feel like you just take Leoric and you do the strategy of just delaying, but you don't win the experience soak trade anymore. So
I mean,
I don't know what to do.
It depends. If they are truly trying to avoid a straight up team fight, okay, they do lock in Murden. That's a very general and safe pick. It's hard to go wrong with Murden. I was gonna say if they wanted to be cheeky and like full YOLO about it, they could have just taken Zeratul and then just like blown up Eric and Baylog in rotations and then just end up winning the game through siege pressure rather than team fighting. But if they did that, like they would have to avoid team fights like at all costs.
Yeah, they wouldn't have a tank, which would be a slight issue. But yeah, it's.
Need to remake the lobby.
I don't know. Like this is so. I don't know who's drafted like more. I feel like Close to Death definitely has like the more standard draft. With, I mean, out of the two, neither of them are standard, but like when you see Falstad, ETC, Li Ming, Brightwing, like anything else you pick with that is pretty standard. Whereas Abathur, Zagara, Rhaegar, Thrall, Muradin is much less standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that they're interesting. Yeah, all right, you dropped out, so I can invite you to the new lobby. Yeah, like I was with you, and I didn't really see how Close to Death was going to be able to respond to this split pushing, silking setup that LSU has. But that Vikings pick single-handedly revised my thinking on that. I think this is going to come down to a situation where these teams just gonna, the better team's gonna win. There are merits to both of these compositions and how they apply split pressure. It's just, can you execute your composition well enough to do it?
Yeah, there's kind of two ways to combat the draft from LSU with that last pick. And it's the way I was speaking of with Sylvanas, where it's like, okay, you want to do this, we're going to try and run a counter strategy. And there's the Viking way where they're like, you want to split soak? Well, anything you can do, I can do better. We're just going to out split soak you. And I feel like what Close to Death is saying with that Lost Vikings pick is we're just going to try and draft a better comp than you, even though our comp isn't as focused on it, right? So they're trying to counter the entire Abathur Zagara with just Vikings. And like, well, they have global pressure from Falstad Brightwing, but it doesn't provide as much siege pressure. So
right.
It feels like they tried to win the draft so heavily instead of trying to win through play style, if that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. We're going to see if that comes to pass or not. Loading into the game now, game 2. Tournament lives on the line for CTD. Over on the left side, we got LSU. Hoss is on Rhaegar. Shot is on Abathur. Thrall's being played by Vakuri. Hecarim is on Murden yet again. And Scooter rounding out the comp on Scar.
And on the right side, we have Close to Death with Hylek on Olaf. We have Keenan on Falstad, Steven on Li Ming, Bloodsplat on ETC, Huberman on Brightwing, Hylek on Baylog, and Hylek on Eric.
A Bloodsplat, trying to set up a bush for the moment, ends up rotating down. I'm curious to see how CTD prioritizes this. With the Vikings, you can afford to have one Viking in each lane and the rest of your team goes ham in the bot. And it looks like they're playing the waiting game. See who's going to show up first in his bot lane. Scooter, he sniffed out something was wrong. He's like, I'm not stepping out too far. I don't know about all that.
That's a lot of discipline from Spagooter there to not walk forward. Hecarim J is actually here on the side, though. If they take too many tower shots, this could turn into an engage. But you have to watch in that top lane for Olaf getting onto Abathur and trying to win that fight, because Hylek will be able to kind of zone out shot in that top lane.
Yeah, Shat's positioning is aggressive thus far on that Abathur, making sure he's out there body soaking, but he could have himself a tough time against Olaf, exactly like you said. The engage idea in the bot lane from LSU ends up passing over. With only Zagara there as your damage, you don't really have the burst to get through a 3v4 style scenario, so I think that was a smart play for you.
Yeah, they're really just showing how good they are at the split, at the 4-man rotation. But right now, Hecarim J looking to come in here. They're going to just end up backing out. I'd like to see Abathur use that hat to more aggressively push in other lanes and try and support this bottom lane. You have to acknowledge that you're going to lose this bottom lane just because they have 4 people in it. So if you give that hat to Thrall, maybe you get a couple picks mid, or you can use that hat to generate picks on Olaf top. You'll get a much more of an experience advantage than if you try and save this bottom lane.
Yeah, I agree. The other strategy that they might be able to do is, the power slide, polymorph follow-up, first kill is going to be Rhaegar. What nicely done by the side of CTD. Gives themselves the tier advantage for the moment. A little bit of poke damage with Murden. But what I was going to say, the other avenue that they could try to do is have Abathur effectively soak 2 lanes, have the body in 1 lane, the hat in the other one, and then send Thrall down to effectively 4v4. I think that could have tipped the scales a little bit, but the power slide goes out. Heckler is going to jump out of here.
Yeah, with the play they opted for was really a half measure, and it was punished very heavily. Haas got a little bit aggressive there and tried to look to punish, but he just ended up not being able to do enough. But like you said, if they had thrown Thrall down, that's full 4v4, right? And you get the hat to soak mid. I really like that decision a lot more than trying to like kind of fight a 3.5 versus 4, just because when you send 4v4, you can actually win an even fight. Whereas when you try and send the 3v5, you're kind of relying on your own mechanics, and you're just kind of saying we're the better team, we can win this.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna put a lot on the shoulders on can you actually execute that. Some of the mines go down. Keenan is gonna get interrupted by Vakuri, but the rotation is arguably late, but it does net them to kill on Li Ming. Brightwing shows up to try to help Keenan get out of there, to step on some of those mines. Value out of that. Blood Splat isolated from his team as the power slide away, and this first tribute might end up in the hands of LSU at this rate.
Falstad looking at him, maybe he actually is able to barely escape Bloodspat, taking a lot of harass. You have to watch in this bottom lane for Hylek on Eric there to push out shot and get a lot of pressure with the Siege Camp and Mercenary Lord.
Now, Bob, I have an interesting question for you. Which team more benefits from a prolonged tribute fight? Exactly. Yeah, like it.
I'm going to say in the early game, we're going to go with Close to Death. But as the game gets later and Abathur builds up that split push power, I'm going to say LSU, because early, Vikings just get more experience soaked than Abathur will, unless Abathur's double soaking and they're able to efficiently soak top. But they also get that push. And the thing that you can do with Abathur late game is with those extra locusts that with Bombard Strain dealing so much more damage. Actually, there's Murden goes down. I didn't catch that. But yeah, as I was saying, actually, I'm watching this 1v1 between the Vikings and Abathur in the bottom lane. Just barely juice out the spine. All but Eric gets killed by Thrall.
I was gonna say Eric was like at half health when Vakuri was rotating away last time, and I guess once they saw that Murden went down and that show was pretty much over, you know, why not try to get some value out of that? But the next tribute's gonna be up in the top left corner. Vision is picked up by CTD, so they will be able to sniff out how the enemy team tries to advance. Scooter able to dodge that orb. I do think this tribute's gonna get picked up by Hooverman. No, but the Q is there in time. LSU says not so fast.
And Power Slide has to come out onto Murden, who's trying to walk away here, but Thrall is trading back damage. His Bloodsplat's gonna have to look out. Keenan got really chunks, but Abathur actually getting solo killed by the Viking in the bottom lane as ETC goes down to Steven looking to trade some damage back, not able to start chaining those resets. Look for that in the late game as this game moves forward, but Keenan actually just got pushed out of that fight by Spagooter. Very well played.
I would also commend Ekarim on Murden. I mean, he was showing some true bravery jumping that far forward to try to body block ETC. It was a gamble that ended up paying off for them and was integral to them coming away with the second tribute of the game. But it did come at a cost. Abathur was taken down in the bot lane by Baylog, but Thrall rotates down to make sure you don't miss out too much soak. Heroic should be here for both teams, so this next tribute fight is going to be real interesting, Baba.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm still interested to see what Zagara goes for. It'll tell us what style they're going for, because they can still go for a team fight style. Double Thrall is kind of scary, and double Zagara with extra Hydralisk is going to do a lot of damage too, a lot of work, be able to provide a lot of pressure. So they could opt for Maw and they could opt for Nidus. We will see in just a second. They do opt for Nidus, but also Ultimate Evolution, so interesting decision there.
Another thing that's interesting is Scooter does go in there, gets isolated with the very nicely placed Mighty Gust. Secures a kill there. A lot of action going on across the map, though. While this push is happening in the top lane, Rhaegar and Murden securing a kill on Eric and then pressing this mid lane for real. The fort falls first for CTD, though. You see Vakuri rotating up to this tribute. Hoss is around here as well. Murden's going to show up. But the RNG of this is really unfortunate for CTD. They're in no position to try to get this, and it's going to be a curse against them.
They actually opted for Emerald Wind. So this is a completely different Brightwing build than we saw last time. Last time we saw the Brightwing build where you go for the healing mist build and you try and get as many healing mist shots out as possible. And instead we're seeing cleanse and a little bit more wave clear as well as Emerald Wind, which does increase your passive healing. So what this kind of tells me is that Close to Death is looking for those extended fights. They're looking to try and last as long as possible and draw the fights out while Vikings get value.
I think they're also concerned about being dove upon with the double thrall setup. Emerald Wind can definitely slow that down as well. But this middle fort is going to go down. 25 seconds still in this curse. Cleanse gets put on. Falstad barrel rolls away, uses the Mighty Gust for the disengage, but here they are, still on the advance. Blood Splat with next to no, pretty low on his health bar, has to jump out of there. Steven is able to get back behind his keep wall. Nice little push from LSU. Doesn't get them any kills though.
Yeah, that was interesting because we just saw the exact value of clowns and why it's so useful. Because Falstad should have been dead.
Yep.
And Cleanse saved his life. And that was the difference between last game and this game, where Brightwing went Cleanse and Brightwing didn't go Cleanse. Really interesting that Abathur took Mule. I feel like it's actually not that great. And I believe he actually gave up the slow for it. Yeah, he gave up the slow, which did get nerfed, but it's still pretty significant. You can get those extra slows. You can slow down those rotations. They do have the global comp, but slowing down ETC or Li Ming to a fight would be gigantic.
Yeah, that is an interesting talent choice pickup at level 7 for Abathur. It adjusts your playstyle. To get the most kind of value out of that, you have to be very swift about rotating to push back the enemy team before the tower entirely falls. Suggests a more passive playstyle than I think we've seen out of LSU. They got the boss in the bottom corner. While that's getting responded to, they're going to help themselves to the double boss in the top lane. So far, they've just been ahead in these rotations.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw the coast-to-coast strategy, as you talked about. What's interesting, like, there's two typical ways to play with boss, right? And I don't know which one you're a fan of. I always like to have this discussion with people because I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Is you can push with boss or you can push in a different lane from boss. Right, so before I say anything more about it, I want to hear what you think about it because it's an interesting topic.
I think it depends on your team composition. If you have a lot of siege pressure potential, I personally prefer to push a different lane. Only because you stand to get more value. It's a safer choice in a lot of ways, I feel, because while the enemy team's responding, Brightwing gets their face ripped off by the way. Boss is going to start pressing on his top lane. We can talk about that. It is an interesting topic. But the advance is here from LSU. They're looking to throw some more weight around Steven, throwing orbs, trying to stop this. Blood Splat jockeying for the position, looking for the right time to power slide in. Goes in on Hoss, good amount of damage. Hat's going to try to keep him alive. He is able to mount up and get out of there, but ETC on the back end of that gets taken out.
And we'll see another Viking go down. Steven still trying to get these resets, and they just haven't been able to secure a kill where Steven can start going off in these fights. We haven't seen those crazy Li Ming reset potential that we're used to seeing out of Li Ming in these fights. It's really kind of a significant thing that Li Ming hasn't been able to pop off at all.
Yeah, I mean, and that whole push, Ancestral Healing didn't even, have to get used. So no one was in too much immediate threat. Positioning is going to have to change a little bit to try to apply more pressure on the LSU, I feel. But about the split push boss question that you brought up, I think it's safer to push a different lane because if the enemy team is like dive heavy, they could very well just jump on you while you're pushing with the boss and you lose some heroes, and then they can try to create like a reverse snowball of sorts. Whereas if you push a different lane and you have a strong siege potential team, you can really easily identify when the enemy team is taking out the boss, so you can start to back away, and you kind of win on two fronts. That's my thinking there.
Shot saying NBM in all chat. Definitely a mistype. Oh well, but yeah. So as we talked about a little bit, and I definitely agree with you. I feel like what siege camps are really good at, and what people tend to not use them for, is providing pressure in a lane where you don't have to be. Right? You can leave that side of the map alone and say, okay, they have to respond to this. But as I say this, the Blood Splat is getting jumped on. They're going to have to blow Emerald Wind for Blood Splat disengage, but he ends up being able to get out safely.
Yeah, a few cooldowns were used there. The Sundering was used for that, but Tribute's going to be in the top left corner of the map. Shot, uses his body, tries to boogie on up here, but Olaf's going to have a thing to say about that. The stun, I don't know if Shot's getting out of this one. Over in the map, you do see one of the Vikings get taken out, but Heilig is on the chase for real.
Yeah, oh, he looks like he's gonna go down. Oh, just barely not able to get out in time there. But Haas looking to try and save his friend. He's might go down here too. Has to be careful. Keenan gonna try and trade some damage back, but he's gonna get stunned out. Watch for Steven to start popping on this fight, but a nice Bosch pit comes out to try and turn the fight around. Steven trying to go back in, but Heilig also getting low here. Spagooter trying to trade some damage back, getting stunned out as we're seeing Heckram J jump in. Bloodsplat goes down. Steven is in a really good position to start changing this fight though, Lawrence.
Haas is doing a heck of a job keeping his teammates alive, but you do see Thrall finally get taken down. Heckram on Murden had next to no health, had to start backing away. Passive will come into effect here. I think they would be better served just giving up this tribute at this point, but they have other things in mind apparently.
Yeah, Abathur's up in 3 seconds with the Ultimate Evolution, so watch for that to come out. Heckram J gonna come in. Ultimate Evolution is pops. Spagooter gonna get focused on a little bit of Keenan, also getting taken low. Shot gonna try and get some damage out, but not able to. Unfortunately, that was kind of a wasted cooldown there and 2 meaningless deaths.
Yeah, I mean, they were gambling pretty hard on that tribute, and, you know, with the situation that they're in, I think they have a lot more to lose than to gain out of this situation. It wasn't a cursed tribute. You have pressure on different parts of the map. You went into the fight down one of your teammates. Abathur was still waiting to respawn. I think that they could have just showed some of the patience they had in the early game last game, wait until everybody's back up, and just look to enjoy some of the advantages they had elsewhere.
Yeah, I get the thought that, like, we're going to delay this and we're going to get the Abathur going and we can win the fight, but it just felt like they went in slightly too early and they didn't even end up getting interrupted off. As I said, Mighty Gus was used to take down Thrall there. Very nicely played. Play again's going to be popped, and this is going to be a dead keep. This is a little bit of a trouble here for LSU.
Yeah, this is starting to get away from them a little bit. I think they need to just slow this down, stave off this advance in the top lane, even go as far as the potential to give up this bottom tribute. The shot should be able to get this. One of the Vikings does go down. Play it again was already used. That's an element. Ancestral healing is used on Murden. He's jumping in there with the heavy impact, lands a stone on a few members. Blood splat with the power slide out on Haas. Fate pushes him back with the face melt. Shot has it this time, apparently.
I guess he said never mind because he went to try and cap it last time. All right, that's fair. We're going to see Keenan recall and really get away with it. They do have vision of this. Heilig trying to get out too. He actually accidentally canceled Baylog's recall there. That's an oopsie.
Yeah, that could have huge implications, especially if they're able to come up here and get Baylog. Hooverman is going to start off away. But no, they don't want the Viking. They said, all right, we're just going to get the boss then. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll take boss. I'm fine with that trade. Looking to take this, but they have to be careful because Li Ming can just snowball. They're actually, I don't know if they're aware of this because they could fight that. They can take that fight.
Yeah, they really could. Bloodsplat is there. Hair late. Did have Mosh Pit up. He could have made a very interesting play. The Sundering goes down on false dad. Cleanse with the Mighty Gus secures his escape. But Brightwing gets deleted.
Just gone. Like, she was there a second, then she was like, all right, I'm done. Bye-bye.
Disappearing act. I'll be back at base. I'll see you guys in about 48 seconds.
Yeah. Wait, going on a coffee break. Get me out
Pizza
of here.
got here. BRB. Next tribute shows up in the top right corner of the map. This is Cursed Tribute again for LSU. They did pick up that boss, so that is going to start doing some damage to this keep. Keenan on false dad starting to back away. Heilig, Eric gets blown up. Orb goes out with Disintegrate. No kills, no cooldown resets. We actually haven't seen too many cooldown resets in these team fights.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier, and it just hasn't felt like Li Ming's really been able to chain. There was the one fight where I felt like she just went off and completely won the fight, but she was too preoccupied with keeping herself alive.
Yeah.
And ended up, like, I mean, obviously, if you're dead, you don't take damage, so that's probably a good idea, but oh well. And we're seeing Bloodspot actually get taken really low here. Play again is popped. They're trying to defend this keep. I don't think they can, that they're going to have to give this up and maybe just look to defend that last keep on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with this call from LSU to not outright go for the game, and I'm glad that they've reeled themselves in because they have been making some very aggressive plays and dragging out team fights that I feel they should have let go. But the upgraded Mighty Gus body blocking, isolating Thrall, the hat or not, the Sundering goes out on most of the members. He uses his Bolt of the Storm to get out of there. I am surprised he's alive right now.
That Sundering will absolutely, if they win the game here, they're win the game. Hooverman actually getting way too far of a position there. A little bit of a bad position, but Fakiri looking to come in on the side. Not a good position to be in. Keenan gonna barrel roll forward. Let's get on him. Frostbolt's actually missed, and now they're gonna look to take down this keep as they're preoccupied. Abathur, I don't know where he is gonna pop. Actually, he's popped the Ultimate Evolution already, so he's just trying to get a bunch of damage off. But oh my god, Dwarf Toss, heavy impact, stunning out 3 members as Steven gets taken low and Falstad goes down. Steven looking to start chaining here, Lauren.
I mean, it's starting to feel like a quick match, man. They're just going in. Both of these teams are fighting to the death. It's like they have no regard. I mean, they're trying to apply pressure here, but this is exactly how CTD gets back in this game. The polymorph goes down on Merlin, Harden, Shield, Hat or not. He gets taken down. You've got no keeps. You got no structures left. But if you're going to try to mount a comeback, it's after you get a few kills exactly like they just did.
Yeah, but now with all 3 keeps down, we're seeing damage go onto the core already, and this is just going to be a disaster to defend. They're going to have Zagara with Niduses everywhere. We already see a pretty decent creep spread in that top side. I guess you'd call that the jungle area?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you'd call it, to be honest, but they're going to start boss. This is probably the only correct play right now because as much as it's a good play to get the boss and exert pressure, it stops LSU from this win condition, which is the boss.
Yeah, for a moment I forgot how much added damage those ranged minions do now. Hylek, Bloodsplat, they are over here trying to get this boss, but Fury, they sniffed this out. Sundering discourages that. ETC is going to mount up and get away. Boss leashes. I like this play from LSU.
They actually pop Ultimate Evolution. A little bit of miscommunication. Don't need to do that, actually. They have a giant wave pushing in top. Steven looking to get some damage off. Gonna actually get chunked pretty low, but Spaguda looking coming on the side. He's gonna the very nice blink to disengage as the Mighty Gust comes out with Wind Tunnel. Gonna trade actually kill shot there, but look at this top lane. Abathur's soaking up, pushing this in. So many catapults coming onto core just from around that. Oh my god, the Dwarf Toss, Lauren.
I mean, it's effectively a power slide at that point. A nice engage from Hecarim, doing a ton of damage. Meanwhile, Ancestral Healing does land. The mosh pit with the slide after locks up members of LSU. Can they capitalize on this? Rhaegar goes down. You're going to see Thrall get blown up as well. But meanwhile, it's all for naught because Spaguda and Abathur has been casually up here ending the game.
Wow, and that was
surprise.
They almost won.
Yeah.
They won that team fight. If they had gone for a full wipe there, they could have just ran through top, gotten the keep, ended the game. But very nice decision making from Zagara and Abathur. Okay, just go. Like, doesn't matter if we lose the fight, we win the game. Go, and they did. And there's very nice decision making. And I've been really impressed with LSU's overall macro play. They've had a few micro misplays that we've seen where they just get caught out in bad positions or misplay team fights. But overall, the macro play has been really impressive.
Yeah, their shot calling definitely seemed decisive, and they definitely capitalized on that. Cursed Hollow, for me personally, is a very interesting map because I say this in general about Heroes of the Storm, but there's always like 12 right answers. Like, there's always an argument to be made for different things that you can do. So when you have a shot caller or a decision strategy to where you can navigate all those and act on them in the way that LSU did, it impresses me. And it showed that they came away with a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, definitely well played. I'm looking over at the Gul'dan's game versus Fox on highlight right now. It is 16-18 for Gul'dan's game. They're just actually taking a team fight right now on Sky Temple. So Gul'dan's game is ahead, but it's currently 1-1 tied in the series. So
wow,
definitely
game 3. Yeah, that's that. I knew that one was gonna be tough. I mean, Gul'dan's game has some high-powered members on their team, but Vox, they know how to play the game. LSU is going to advance in a Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown alliteration. Looking at the bracket here real quick.
You're waiting for the winner of the
Blue
Waffles?
Waffles and Wizards in real life. Interesting. So yeah, they're going through a best of 3 as well. I'm not sure when they started or how far along they are. I will talk to the admins and see how that's going. For now, I do think we'll put ourselves on a break. I'll play some music and stuff. Once we have the next game lined up, it will be the winners between Blue Waffles and Wizards IRL going up against LSU, team we've seen thus far looking really strong. I'm excited. Hope you guys stick around. And see you in a bit.
Don't touch that dial.
I wouldn't.
Left me here to die alone. All home. Now I'm low. I grew up in a rusty shack.
These things we're trying to get straight. Could we have the same table we had yesterday? Could we have the same table we had? Yesterday.
All right, we are back. My name is Lauren. This is the Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown. I am joined by the one and only Baba Booey. The other set that we were waiting on to finish is going to Game 3, and we will be casting that bad boy. It's going to be the Blue Waffles going up against Wizards IRL, I think.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. Wizards
Yeah.
in real life.
So the draft link has been given to me. Baba,
Sweet, sweet,
I will
sweet.
send it to you on BattleNet.
Got it.
Get us switched over. They are still getting ready.
It's gonna be Tuma Spider Queen.
Yeah.
Tuma of the Spider Queen.
I like this map. Small map, quick rotations, team fight oriented, control on the turn ins. Pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Definitely watch for Kerrigan and Zool and Sylvanas. Kerrigan used to be picked like all the time on this map, and then she kind of fell out of favor and then was only picked on Infernal, and then she got buffed. So now she's really good. She'll probably be banned really early.
You think we'll see any Asmodean play?
We could. That's always a possibility. Zagara, definitely a good ban. Good siege pressure, good vision control.
Creeps gives you consistent vision over the turn-ins, which offers so much information on how you want to try to engage and how you want to try to defend the turn-ins. Wizards IRL not wanting to deal with that, they have some other things in mind for their own composition. Blue Waffles has some options here. Do they want to ban out the likes of Kerrigan, like you were saying? I was about to say Zul's another very strong siege hero on this map. We do see the Necromancer getting banned out.
Yep. And now we are looking at Sylvanas' first pick, so not opting to go for that Kerrigan. Very interesting decision making there.
Yeah, Sylvanas brings a lot to the table in general and on a map like this in particular. Being able to lock down those structures while your web weavers are pushing or while the boss is pushing in the top lane can turn a fort wall into an entire fort for your team or a keep into the core. Definitely offers some advantages to them, but Blue Waffles are going to go for Johanna and Azmodan.
Okay, so there's two ways to play against an Azmodan comp. It is way number one is shove one lane really hard, the lane that he's not rotating to, and just push that lane in and try and get map pressure off that. And the other way is to try and play super aggressive and get picks. So they're not showing their hand yet. I want to see this be a Kel'Thas, an ETC with the Kel'Thas, because that just gives them they can still go either way from that. And Sylvanas is really good at shoving in the lane, so they could do really whatever they want from there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they try to play that. Once you're going up against Azmodan, definitely puts you on notice to some degree, but they are able to draft a strong trio by picking up Kel'Thas and Kerrigan. That is a point of concern.
That is scary. Blue Waffles needs to ban out ETC here, or Muradin, one of the two, because if they don't, Wizards IRL is going to point at someone and be like, "You're dead," and the person won't be able to do anything about it. That's going to be it.
Yeah, I mean, neither team is going to their time pool, which says to me they definitely have, strategies and things already planned out well in advance. But we are going to see this slow down quite a bit, and they must have heard you. I mean, ETC, you got to ban out ETC in this situation.
Yeah, you can't give it up. It's just, okay. Or they could pick it. That could be cool. But they're going to ban out Brightwing, which is really interesting.
I'm wondering how these first two games have gone, because keep in mind, this is game 3 of this set. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe the Brightwing play has just been absolutely detrimental earlier in this set, and they're just like, I don't know, man. ETC in this situation, if Blue Waffles takes ETC, it'd be interesting. I don't know if they'd have enough damage at that point, but leaving ETC out there for Wizards IRL is a bold strategy, Cotton.
See if it pays off. Probably going to need to pick up Uther here, because Divine Shielded Kerrigan is a nightmare, and not something you want to play against ever, because that's just, oh my god, disgusting. But so probably Uther, and then some other form of wave clear. So something like they did ban out Janus. They can't go for that. You could even go Li Ming, or you could go Greymane here. One of those two could be really effective.
I think there's an argument for Vala as well in this situation with some of these other top tier choices taken off the table. If you don't go for Li Ming, I think Vala would be a decent way to go. Rain of Vengeance, the Waffle Iron could be good. They do deny the Uther setup for Wizards IRL. They got one more hero to pick, 27 seconds in their time pool. Here's to see where they go.
The Waffle Iron?
That's what I call Rain of Vengeance, man.
What?
Just think about it. Just next time you see Rain of Vengeance, think of a Waffle Iron.
I'm worried, I can't think of it now, but I'm worried I'm going to see it, and I'm just never going to be able to unsee it, and it'll just ruin Vala for me.
Oh, no. It'll make Vala for you. The exact opposite.
You'll get hit by it, and you'll be like, damn, I'm stunned, but at least I'm tasty.
Belgian. We do get the solo laner pickup for Thrall for the Blue Waffles. It definitely will allow Johanna, Azmodan, Uther, and the remaining person for their composition to rotate around and try to build those stacks up. Assuming that Azmodan goes for the stacking build, which is what you normally see. But Rhaegar ETC gets picked up here. Wizards have done themselves a service in this draft.
It's a scary, scary team if they get Rhaegar ATC. But the only person really capable of being picked right now is Thrall. It's the only person on the side of the Blue Waffles that you can really think about trying to insta-burst.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. In chat, Akuwasi? I butcher names, sorry. Brightwing was pivotal to the earlier game. So, okay. So that was a decision based on how this set is going. That makes a lot more sense to me. I feel like where this draft could end up going, Wizards takes ETC, Blue Waffles take Tychus.
You think they have enough wave clear already?
I do. I mean, they would have to burn. You mean Wizards IRL, or do you mean Blue
No,
Waffles?
Blue Waffles.
I mean, Tychus does a serviceable job with the grenades. I think if Wizards goes for ETC, you could afford to sacrifice some wave clear, assuming you get enough stacks in Asmodan to be able to reliably burn down ETC. Taking the bigger they are at 4, every time he power slides out, he's going to be on a short timer because his health is going to get melted by Tychus. And a grenade is another interrupt for Mosh Pit. I think it would help them out.
What would you think about Tassadar?
For Waffles right now?
Yeah.
I actually would like that a lot because it pretty much would make Thrall, like you said, the only main target to go on, but they have other things in mind. But yeah, Tassadar, would have been, put the shield on Thrall. If Uther's healing, it definitely would negate a lot of that single target burst potential the Wizards IRL have. But Zeratul brings an interesting dynamic themselves.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know if I really like the Zeratul pick.
I'm trying to see where he comes into play. Like
in theory, you could have like Void Prison into Globe and just like annihilate their entire team.
yeah.
There's so much potential for anti-synergy, and like one of the cool things you can do is like Asmodan throws a globe and then Zeratul jumps in and picks off whoever got hit, and it's just a huge damage spike.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm worried about their early game stacking. Like Zeratul's gonna have to cleave, and cleave is like okay damage, but it's not amazing damage. It might be enough. I'm just not 100% sure.
It's gonna be interesting because I feel like if Zeratul tries to go in at the wrong time, he's just gonna get blown up. And it's going to be immediate when he gets blown up, and they're going to be at a significant disadvantage. We are in the lobby. I need to update these. Buzz, I'm pretty sure that they are the Blue Waffle. Confirm that. No, they are Wizards IRL. Yeah.
Why is there another observer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, hey. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? All right, this gives me time to update the overlays because I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing. So over on the left side, we got Wizards IRL.
All right.
Oh. And over on the right, we got them Blue Waffles.
We're gonna go TBW, or are you on full blue waffles?
I think Blue Waffles. That work.
All right, and I'm probably just gonna call them Wizards because
Yeah.
and the IRL there is gonna be
The Wizards against the Waffles in an epic best-of-3 clash.
Well, yeah, best of one. Now, oh my God, Asmodunk.
Thanks for asking me not to play favorites, but that Asmodunk skin.
You can't. You get to see the dunk moves. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I was casting a game with J-How, and there was an Asmodan. He got a globe kill, and I just like threw up my arms and fell back in my chair. Yeah! Cross map dunk, and I was so happy. We're ready? Ready? Ready. Caster's ready. Okay. Anyways, so let's talk a little bit about the win conditions here, Lauren. What do you think both teams kind of have to do here? How do you think Wizards IRL plays this early game? Because Waffles pretty much has to just stack and then play for late, right?
Yeah.
So what can Wizards IRL do?
I feel like Wizards needs to just go kill Asmodean indiscriminately, like nonstop, and just disrupt the stacking process, and then hope that they can survive Zeratul counter engagement. Because I imagine Thrall will be in the lane by himself, you know, just kind of living his life, soaking down the bot lane. So if you blow up Asmodean fast enough to force him out to where he can't get his stacks going, and you're able to withstand what Zeratul's going to do, I think you've done yourself a service.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still interested to see whether or not they go for this like rotation, like the pick style. They did get Kerrigan, but you can just use Kerrigan to put pressure on whoever is soloing. I'm interested to see whether or not they go for this really heavy push in one lane. Could be interesting.
I think we're going to see the 1-4 death ball. Sylvanas will square off against Thrall in the bot lane. That's not really her best matchup by any stretch of the imagination, but she should be able to hang down there long enough at least just to soak. You may not win the lane, but you're investing in the future where you get value out of Sylvanas later. But I feel like you need to have the other 4 pieces there to rotate around and try to pressure Asmodean out of the lane.
Yep. And I'm kind of disappointed in both these teams right now. Neither team has good portrait synergy. And that's like the biggest point of winning in this game, you know? The mental aspect. When you have the portrait synergy, you go into the loading screen and you're staring at the enemy team for a long time. It's just like, damn, they're all Master Falstad. What are we going to do?
Oh, ETC. Dangstrom has the ETC. Dangstrom has the ETC. There's that.
One of my favorites that I actually saw was they had a full team of master portraits for every hero they were playing. That one was cool. That one was really cool.
That's commitment.
It is
That's commitment, like you read about.
Yeah.
Who do you think has a stronger late game here, Bob?
If that Zeratul wasn't there and that Zeratul was like anything else, I'd probably say Wizards. Zeratul kind of falls off a little bit late. So I don't know. I like Wizards more just because they're more tanky.
Yeah.
And they have the Asmodean. So I feel like they're going to put in a lot more work, but it's going to be so easy to get kills for the side of the Blue Waffles. I think I have the right teams. Sorry. I like the Blue Waffles. Sorry. Wizards IRL have the better pick potential. Okay.
Yeah.
But so reverse what I said.
You're tripping me up. Let me make sure I got this right. Wizards are on the left. Waffles are on the right.
Because I was thinking, if you look at, if like my mind was in the draft, and the draft Wizards are on the right, and the Waffles are on the left, and they flipped it.
Maybe it was like, who was that random guy? I don't know. Is it taking a while to load for you too?
Yeah, we're stuck.
All right, yeah.
One of them's going for the 3-2-3 strategy. You know.
The Illuminati can confirm.
It's pretty bold, but we'll see if it pays off.
ETC, Kael'thas, Kerrigan. It's scary, man. It's real scary. But we
bars are moving.
We in there?
Let's figure out who it was that broke the game. I'm betting it was Bay State.
Damn. Isolated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's down Da Vincio and Bay. So he might be.
So is that Da Vincio or Davincio?
I reserve the right to butcher name.
All right, that's fair. I don't know what it is. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
we gotta be consistent.
I'm just gonna go for Da Vincio.
Vincio? All right. I like it.
Seems easier.
And what about the Asmodean? How are you gonna pronounce that one?
Turin?
Turin? All
right. I know. Like
accent.
there's. Hey man. Hey, I'm just. Look, I'm from South Jersey, man. We don't do that kind of stuff.
Who needs accents?
Nah, man, it's just turn over here today.
Turn.
Sorry, man.
It's gonna devolve to just turn.
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 I mean, hey, they are welcome to correct me, and once we get confirmation on that front, I'll say it correctly. But for the meantime,
It's turn.
turn. Turn.
I'm telling you, it's just gonna slowly change.
Man, he's
We're gonna
gonna
slowly
hate
evolve,
me.
and
He's
we're
gonna
in
hate
game.
me
It
for
was
good.
Bay State. I was right.
We might be looking at a pause. No, they're in the game. So let me unmute the game because I'm good at this. Switch this over. All right, this is the best of three. The winner of what?
It was both of them. It was Davin Show and Bay State.
I guess they're back. All right, over on the left side, we got the Wizards IRL, and you're going to have Aqua Pro on Kalthas, maybe Buzz. One and only on Rhaegar, Judge Breads on Kerrigan, Engstrom on ETC, Azulia on Sylvanas.
And on the right side, we will have Alex on Uther, Bay State on Johanna, Turin on Asmodan, Link on Zeratul, and Devin Cho on that Thrall. An interesting decision to go to this top lane here instead of the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to have Link go out and scout. They do not want to go for this level 1 team fight. They, assuming they want to wait to get those stacks built up. Asmodan has gone for Taste for Blood, so we have confirmed the commitment there. Dankstrom waiting to find someone to power slide on. Link is somewhat visible. He is pinged out. So they have a sharp eye on him.
Yeah, and we're seeing one of the things we talked about really quickly during draft was the lack of ability for wave clear so far. They're actually messing up, but Alex getting jumped on, so is Johanna. That's one kill, looking to get the second one. Bay State actually disconnecting. Not a good time for that to happen, but he's gonna be able to walk out. Apparently not actually disconnecting.
Yeah, just like one of those quick, like, you leave, but you don't actually leave. But that level 1 engage potential, the power slide and the Kerrigan combo is not going to be there to follow up. But they are able to get away. One kill so far. I feel like Waffles going to have to play this passively until they can get these stacks built up.
Definitely, and they do have a little bit of a weak stacking team. They have the Johanna, but they don't really have any follow-up for the Johanna. Usually you want like a Jaina, a Kalthas, Li Ming, something just assist with that a little bit. Link will be able to cleave, but I haven't seen him do it yet, so we will see. Looks like this will be the first time they actually go for it. Able to get a few stacks there.
Yeah, they're definitely working on getting that put together. I imagine going further in this game, they'll get the rhythm down for that. Experience is pretty much even on both sides. Both teams hitting level 3. Lazulia rotates down. To Davincio, the root just misses, so these guys just kind of squaring off against each other. Thrall should be able to Q Sylvanas quite a bit to burn her down, though.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting lane matchup because while Thrall has the pressure in the 1v1, he doesn't really have the pushing potential that Sylvanas has.
Right. Both teams looking for their level 4 talents. Those should be around the corner. Right now, Wizards, Dankstrom on ETC looking to power slide. They find Link. The power slide on him, he is able to teleport away before the Kerrigan combo can land. A Flame Strike doing a good amount of damage. Chain Bomb the follow-up as well. Turin over there throwing hoops around, trying to dunk.
Yeah, and there's a nice rotation coming up from Sylvanas. She's realizing that she's not actually necessary. They're going to look to try and get this turn in. But what happened was she just realized that, hey, I can't actually 1v1 Thrall. So I'm just going to rotate up to mid and try and get this push on while my team fights in the top lane. It's really smart decision making. But I want to point out Zeratul's build really quickly because he's going for that Spellcaster Cleave build.
I think that will help with stacking, but it's definitely something of a gamble because if you get locked down like he just did, it could go wrong and blow up in your face. He is able to teleport away in time though. Bay on the other end of the map gets the Kerrigan combo, but the stun is not going to be there. Dankstrom's trying to body block. Chain Bomb gets put on, but they are going to be able to get away without losing any heroes.
Now, which one is your preferred build? Because I'm personally partial to the Vorpal Blade follow-through build, but I've seen a lot more of this ability power build. Which one do you like better, Lauren?
I think you get more versatility out of the Vorpal Blade build. If you can time your Vorpal Blades right to just confuse the enemy team and surprise them. You can get more value out of that. But yeah, I've also seen the gathering power thing, and the pull from Kerrigan is going to secure the kill on Joanna. 20 gems get knocked down. They pretty much picked up though.
Kel'Thuz's is actually going for a flame strike build. Pretty interesting with convection at level 1. That's kind of cool. I didn't notice that until now. It's about a quarter of the way stacked there, trying to get that through. And Web Weavers are summoned here, so they have to be really careful because if Asmodee gets off to an early experience lead, it's going to be tough to pull back.
Yeah, they definitely find their backs up against the wall, but a good way to put yourself in a good spot is get 2 kills, which they do exactly that as these red Web Weavers are going to fall. That pretty much negates the push potential for the Waffles.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how they play. Every team kind of has this plan for how they're going to play the map objective, and what you'll see is like, okay, we got Web Weavers, so our strategy is go top, go mid, go bot. Like, go mid, split bot and top. And I'm Link letting the team know to watch for flame strikes, making sure that both teams know to watch for flame strikes. That's a little bit of an oopsie, but yeah, I like the stylistic differences that you can see between teams, where one team will always opt to do one thing one way and they'll always opt to do it another way, and kind of figuring out which way works best for you.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to some of the versatility and dynamic differences in Heroes of the Storm compared to other MOBAs. You can make so many adjustments and really change how you approach the game, even on the same hero. The Web Weavers are cleared out in top and mid. The wall gets taken out in bot before the last Web Weaver falls. There's 65 gems in the pockets of the Wizards right now, so they can definitely look to get a turn in themselves. I'm wondering if the Waffles are going to look to defend bot.
Yeah, and they actually just letting them turn in for free. A little bit of a misplay there. You want to try and defend for as long as possible when you can, just because it allows you to get so much more value. If you defend if you're good at goaltending, as it's often called and described, just preventing the enemy team from getting any turn-ins, you're effectively denying them use of the map objective. You deny use to get a ton of value. But there's a game that going in, and Uther just gets absolutely demolished as DaVincio looking to get a little bit more damage back. He is getting low, just about 200 health there. Very nice jump in from Kerrigan to turn that. But Base Reed is also in a bad position and gets actually powers. Very nice face melt and almost landing the cold stun was there. But Link getting in there to get that kill, getting those ability power stacks. I'm going to check how many he's at real quick. He's actually only at 1. Yeah, so he is that bonus 2% right now. We'll start to see that scale up slowly.
That was an impressive little progression of events there. You know, in the earlier parts of that, Wizards are very commanding, securing kills, the power slide, the Kerrigan combo, but also good on Blue Waffles, being able to identify the ability to kill ETC. It's not entirely stopping this advance. It is going to cost them their fort. Heroics are around a corner for the Wizards, but the Blue Waffles are not out of this yet.
Yep, and my binary is a little bit hazy, so I can't do that off the top of my head, but he is letting us know that that is a lot of power of 2s.
I'm looking at the bonus damage so far. Turin on Asmodee has been able to get a stack of 100, which isn't too bad, all considered.
Yeah, and you have to be careful because they are starting to snowball the game, and if Asmodee isn't able to get those stacks like he needs to be getting, I don't know if Zeratul realizes he's an all
that. Yeah, he's been doing that a few times now. Fill the lanes. You're gonna see Thrall get taken out though. Bay ST. Joanna gets taken out as well. But we're starting to see the power of Sylvanas. You know, the push came down for the Waffles first. They got a pretty standard amount, considering that they lost heroes and it ended up being down at talent tier. But on the other end, Sylvanas is able to secure 2 forts in the Heroics.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going in right now.
Yeah, actually, I just noticed this now. There's a lot of talents that I'm not actually noticing because I'm just like assuming that it's going to be really standard. But Thrall went for Seasoned Marksman. That's something we haven't seen since the Seasoned Marksman changes, where they made it a quest where when you complete, you get 60% attack speed. 30% for 3 seconds. So that's actually kind of interesting to me that he's opting for that slight change up.
Yeah. The other talents are pretty standard. You see follow through, another set of Web Weavers dropping down here for the Wizards. That poke damage from Asmodee is going to get a lot more serious now that Blackpool is picked up. But with Sylvanas and all the members of the Wizards up here, they're definitely going to look to do some damage.
Yeah, they definitely have to be careful. Sylvanas will just shut down these structures, create a lot of pressure, and I like the decision to have every lane cleared out before Sylvanas can start to push this, because they will be able to get the 5 people down here, and they will be on even talent here, so now is really the time to look for a fight.
Yeah, this is going to end up being one of those do-or-die moments for the mid-game. The power slide out on Link, the Void Prison goes down, but all the members of the Wizards are able to get into it to negate that isolation chance. The Phoenix goes down, Link next to no health. The Wailing Arrow not enough to secure the kill. The Ancestral Healing does land. The heal goes on Link. I think he's going to try to jump back in here.
The Ancestral Healing barely connected, but Judgebred looking to get some damage in. Thunder just actually barely not connecting on Lazulia there. Going to be able to disengage, and if that's Thunder connected, that would have been a dead Sylvanas. And I also just want to point out how much I love Kerrigan's name.
Judgebred?
Yeah.
I like it.
Judgment.
I know a guy in the community, his name is I Hate Toast, so they probably would not get along very well.
I want to see a
Powers.
1v1 matchup.
Yeah, 1v1 me, bro. Link is able to disrupt that and get away with his very life. Level 13 talents are picked up. Any standouts that you're seeing on this front, Bob?
You know, Double Strike is kind of a stylistic thing. Some people will opt for increased range, and some people will opt for the Queen's Rush. Yeah, someone should really tell Zeratul he's talking in all chat.
Yeah, I don't think he knows that. He is up to 138 stacks though.
Yeah. Has been doing it like a pretty okay. This is kind of a Hero League-esque stacking. It's about the rate at which you'd expect it to stack in Hero League. Unfortunately, in competitive, you need to be stacking a little bit more quickly. But I believe this is a free agent team, so that is completely forgivable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure if they're all in voice comms if he's typing this much, so they're doing a pretty good job here so far. They're in a tough spot, though, being this far down and experiencing it so far away from their level 13s, but it's not stopping the engagement. The Wailing Arrow on 3 members. You do see the Mosh Pit, not too much effect, though. Johanna does use their Unstoppable to try to buy themselves some time. The Void Prison goes down, trying to secure the disengage. The Dunk goes in, not able to secure a kill, and looks like the Waffles are going to start backing up.
The Bay State needs to get out here. Judgebred, I want him to go in for that combo so bad. And I actually think it was a little bit misplay. I feel like if Asmodee had aimed that globe at the backline where there were 3 people void prisoned, they could have won that fight. There were 2 people that were pretty low. They just snowballed off that. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Obviously, Zeratul is apparently not on voice comms, so that can lend itself to being the reason why.
Yeah.
A little bit of miscommunication.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there was a lot of meat on the bone, proverbially, in that team fight. Especially being down talent tiers, that could have been huge for them. See if they find another opportunity along those lines. They do have enough for another turn-in. Down in the bot lane, thanks to Sylvanas, Lazulia is going to lock down his structure and secure the last fort.
But Link going in, Judgebred taking a lot of damage. He's going to try and trade back, but Link might go down here. He does have Gathering Power, so he really doesn't want to go down. Able to escape with just barely under triple-digit health.
Yeah, Judgebred and Link both are pretty lucky to be alive. The rotation from Maybe Buzz was able to get there to keep Kerrigan up in time. Link was able to teleport out of there. Could have been a pretty big deal either way. Level 13 talents are picked up, so now we can fight on even talent tiers, says Blue Waffles. We have Wormhole, Giant Killer, Spell Shield, Shrink Ray, and Hedonism. Standard stuff.
Yep, definitely pretty standard. And Terran's really trying to get these stacks going, but no one on his team is really helping him. Now, Zeratul letting both teams know that VP is up. He's going to pop the Wormhole, but he does get hit by that combo. That's a bit of an issue. He's able to get healed up there. Maybe Buzz actually got chunked out. I don't know by who. I'm assuming it was Thrallo.
Link letting everybody know that VP is up. I'm sure the members of Wizards are appreciative of the information there. Boy State's clearing out mid a little bit. Maybe Buzz hit the well back there to help their team up. Everybody has heroics on the side of the Wizards, so this could definitely get interesting. The Kerrigan combo just misses on Uther. The Void Prison does go down in the back line. The Power Slide Mosh Pit landing 2 people. He's getting lasered in the face the entire time. Zeratul's going to be the first to go down. Uther turns into a ghost as well. The Ancestral Healing is a hair late on ETC, and everybody's dropping, Bob.
Yeah, that was such a close fight on a knife's edge there. Zeratul goes down there, loses all of his ability power stacks, all 2 of them, but you know, 2 is a significant amount when your team only has 2 kills. A little bit of an issue there, but well played for the side of Wizards.
Yeah, and I like this call from them. They've identified the ability to pick up this boss as well. But
Okay.
maybe Buzz was to make sure they get up there and heals Carrick. Oh, whoa. I know Judge Brett was like, a little too close for comfort there. But Blink letting everybody know that the boss is getting picked up. This could hurt. Between Sylvanas and the turn in, it's going to be a lot.
If that globe was about like, Link gonna get comboed by the Kerrigan. Nice Ancestral is popped, but Rhaegar goes down to the dome!
From downtown, Turin getting some value out of that long-range globe to the face, taking out Rhaegar, but maybe Buzz was able to get the Ancestral Healing off, so some value was had out of that. Blue Web Weavers are going to get turned in now. This does buy the members of Blue Waffles time to burn this boss down, but with Sylvanas still alive, could hurt.
Yeah, I find this Zeratul absolutely hilarious. The fact that he doesn't realize that he's... Either he doesn't realize or he just doesn't care that he's in all chat. Either way, pretty funny to me because, like, you're just telling the enemy team the strategies, and
Yeah.
obviously they're taking advantage of it because they're aware of when VP is up. And I'm really liking Keldas's Flame Strike build too. Nice variation. Good to see something other than Gravity Crush.
Yeah, it's not something you see too often, but when you're going up against Johanna and Asmodan, two very high health pool heroes, talents like Burn Flesh tend to get a lot of value. But the Web Weaver is going to start pushing down his top keep, which is at about half health. Rhaegar is back to business, so all 5 members of the Wizards can be able to make a play here. The Mosh Pit actually doesn't hit anyone, but the Cleanse is perfectly timed to bait out the Sundering Void Prison on the back line. Dangstrom is able to start backing away. Aqua Pro getting a ton of damage put on them. The Wailing Arrow with the Power Slide follow-up secures the kill on Johanna, and the rest of the members of the Blue Waffles are starting to back up.
That Wailing Arrow was absolutely beautiful. And Judge Red looking to combo Devin show here. Lazuli also getting taken low. Ancestral is just coming off cooldown now. They're going to look to disengage, not actually use it as this bottom Web Weaver wave is pushing in. Don't know what they're going to opt to do here. Maybe pressure mid.
I feel like Turin could have threw another orb potentially at some of them before they backed away. It would have been a blind shot for sure, but there were plenty of members of Wizards who were pretty low on health. Could have turned something at it. The orb does go in on Dangstrom, not too heavy in effect. 41 gems in the pockets for the Wizards, 24 after 33 have already been turned in for the Waffles, and it looks like they're going to go for the Siege Camp.
Yeah, and Link has been doing a really good job of just being annoying and landing really good VPs. Unfortunately, their team didn't really draft for Zeratul. Like, the Zeratul pick is doing well. I just don't think it was a good pick. You know, they had this scaling comp where they could have really done a lot of work with, like, just scaling with stacking with Asmodan, getting those late game steam fights going, and they just opted for Zeratul instead, which is going well, but could have been better at something else.
I agree. You see Thrall getting taken out there. The Bruiser Camp is picked up. Divine Shield goes on. Johanna helped them get away. The Kerrigan combo is negated by the Divine Shield. That orb goes in on Aqua's face, does a good amount of damage. They're just trying to blind the members, but Sylvanas going to be able to lock down this keep. And without one of their main damage dealers, they are not in much of a position to do much about this.
Yeah, Asmodan trying to throw out those globes, but unfortunately not enough stacks to be completely relevant. Interested to see whether or not they go for a double keep play, or they're just going to end up backing out. They don't have quite enough for a turn yet, so I don't know what they're really looking to do here, Lauren.
Yeah, this is going to be something of a lull in the action, I think. They are going to start backing away. They're content with having 2 of the keeps down. They feel like they have a lot more to lose than to gain in this situation. Turning isn't around the corner. They can just press up these lanes, potentially go back and get that Bruiser Camp that's still available. But just trying to turn in what gems they do have and try to work their way up towards that next Web Weaver. And also make a play for level 20.
Yep, no real reason to fight when you're on the same talent tier like this and you have such a significant experience lead. It's kind of like, the way I like to compare it is if you played other MOBAs, it's like fighting without spending your gold lead, right? You have this big advantage that you've accrued and you just aren't going to use it. So it's a little bit, like, it just doesn't make sense to do, right? You should just wait until you have those talents and wait until you've actually made use. The Blood Thunder comes out. VP actually used onto 4 members there. ETC gonna try and get a power slide off, gonna get stunned out, but Avincio getting absolutely demolished there on the front line. Dangstrom looking to continue forward. Cold Embrace has been thrown out with that Shadow Dagger, and base state's getting chunked pretty low here, but Kerrigan combo can come out.
Yeah, Bay State actually avoided the body block. The Kerrigan combo is there to follow up after Divine Shield, keeping Bay State alive. A nice power slide from Dangstrom nets at least one kill. Asmodan and Joanna are going to go down. Alex, the last person standing with Zeratul, is going to be able to get back to base, but I do think this is the end of the game.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be in the game. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a lack of communication. Alpha Pro actually getting taken really low, but in that last team fight, Sunder came out. Throw was in a really good position to maybe pick up a kill or two on the back line, and he got Void Prisoned along with 2 other members. They weren't really able to do anything with it, so I feel like that Void Prison was a little bit misplaced and just kind of a panic Void Prison.
I would agree. Like, it's interesting to me that Link was like, "Hey, we need Sundering to engage," which is a very fair point, and I agree with that. But after the Sundering goes out, Thrall goes in looking to do some damage. It looked like they were just about to start to throw their burst, and then the Void Prison just kind of like doused that flame, and then gave Wizards time to be like, "Oh well, we can posture to prepare for this now rather than be caught off guard by the flank." Just a tough amount of counter synergy there that ended up costing them in the end.
Yeah, and Wizards IRL will move on to face, which team is that? LSU, who put on a pretty good showing earlier today. Definitely looking pretty formidable. So interested to see how these games turn out here, Lauren.
I think it's going to be exciting. LSU, you know, we saw them in that first set. They look strong. They look coordinated. They were playing a very crisp game. They demonstrated the ability to play some quasi-unusual compositions, not ones that you would see, you know, as far as like a standard vanilla kind of setup. So we could see some diversity there. They showed proficiency on a map like Infernal Shrines, as well as a larger scale map like First Hollow. So that'd be cool.
And I just have a little piece of information here for you, Lauren.
Ooh.
Gale Force lost game 1 to Vox. So Vox is up 1-0 right now, and they're in draft for game 2. Which
I'm telling you, man, Vox, it's surprising, but it's not as surprising. Like, they can play. They can play the video game.
Yeah, their team fighting is so clean. They just have so much coordination, so much synergy together. It's so good. It's really speaking to how important it is that you stick as a team and build your synergy, right? They have so much faith in each other, and you can just tell that they trust each other in the team fights, and it's something that you don't get unless you've played a lot of games together.
I agree, and it's always something that's really unfortunate and something I think is missed by a lot of teams in North America. It's like, you know, some region will happen, some teams, you know, they don't automatically win, so then they pretty much just disband, and then they don't really understand that the time it takes for you to build up a new team, to find out how these personalities mesh, to get the synergy, you know, those intangibles together, you're more or less going to be right back where you were anyway. And I've always felt like I would rather be on a team where 5 good players know how to play really well together than 5 all-stars who don't act on the same page.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Couldn't have said it better. And it's something that I've talked about before, and a lot of it is just like your confidence in your teammates and the respect you have for your teammates. Because a lot of the time what'll happen is like one team will just think he's better than the rest, or he or she will think they're better than the rest. And it really throws a wrench into the works because they're like, I need to carry this game. So you start trying to make those all-star plays instead of relying on your teammates to play with you. Right? And it's like you just start to punish your own teammates for trying to play together. It's a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, thanks for calling out the Blades of Steel shirt. Hey, man, I played this game a lot as a kid. It's a Nintendo game. But yeah, I've definitely seen that like diva aspect to teams really poison the well, so to speak. Hopefully it's a lesson more North American teams learn. It's just like you might not get the results that you're initially looking for. Like everyone obviously wants to win, but if you have good synergy and you guys are able to, I think the most important thing is being able to like critique your teammates without it having some kind of negative impact on how they feel. Like if you guys can all have an honest conversation where it's like, we need to work on this, we can do this. At that point, the technical things are just going to come just by virtue of continuing to practice them.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you do have one of those people that feel like, oh, I'm the best on the team or whatever, and they're not receptive to that sort of thing, that's when I would want to make a change in my roster.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as someone thinks they're better than the rest of the team, you have an issue and you need to make a roster swap. So, anyways, back into Sweet Synergy, Lauren. We're going to have LSU versus Wizards IRL. And Wizards IRL we saw play last game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was against the free agent team, I believe, but they looked pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long LSU has been together, but they definitely look coordinated. I know Shot in particular is a very skilled player, and we saw some plays out of everybody on that roster. This will be the finals. This is the best of 3 for those who are joining. I do see the viewer number starting to climb, so welcome if you're here. Recently, this the Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown, a part of the Heroes United Amateur Tournament Collective. 3 tournaments. This one, Heroes Hype, next verse, have a shared point system where, at the end of the season, the team with the most points to get into like a finals sort of setup, play for a donation prize pool. It's always really fun to see these guys show up. This is where you see teams like Vox Nihili really refine their skills and then go on to wow teams like Gale Force Esports.
Yeah, which is currently going on. But do you want to let people know how they can donate?
I do. I forget. I'm not sure what the command is here in this channel, but the donations are through Matcherino.
Let me see if we can get ! Matcherino. And Turin is actually in chat. It is right there, yeah.
Yep.
So Turin's in chat. If you could let us know how you actually pronounce your name, because we were talking about a little bit. Is it Turin? Is it Turin? Like what? There's a little accent there, so let us know.
I'm curious, but yeah, if you haven't already done it, you can donate $1 for free using the code pasted in the channel right now from the Nightbot. It's a free $1 that goes towards the prize pool. These guys show up week in and week out, play their hearts out, put on a really good show for us. I'm always excited to see the amateur scene play, whether I'm casting or not. So any little bit is appreciated on that front. So something to think about.
And they're doing map draft right now, so I don't know if that was intended or not. We are going to see a map draft.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the rules for that. Anyone could tell us, it would be maybe Buzz, who's in the chat. Sadly, we're not going to see a Black Hearts Bay game. Oh no, oh no.
Because those games are always the most exciting. That is my least favorite map to play on in the game. Like, by no small margin. You got like game maps I like playing on. You got maps I like playing on, maps I dislike, and you got maps I hate, and you got Blackhearts like way over here.
Wow.
Off the screen.
Past hate.
I hate that map because it promotes the most boring play style. And like, I know how to win on that map, and in order to win on that map, you get Zool, and he rotates between top and mid, and you get Illidan, and he cleans camps. And the rest of your team does whatever they want, and you win the game. That's it. And it's so boring because you just spend 15 minutes on Zool walking between top and mid.
I've seen that style of composition come together, and it's dirty. Like, it is very Resident Sleeper to just have.
But
Zool
it wins.
mind.
Right? You win, and you're just like, I don't even feel like the enemy team is playing the game. I don't feel like I'm playing against an enemy team here.
It does feel like an AI match if you're able to pull that off effectively. It's rough. It's rough. We're almost through the ban phase. We're down to Sky Temple, Tomb of Spider Queen, and Towers of Doom. I was surprised to see Infernal Shrines get banned out that early. People seem to be frowning on that map these days.
Yeah, and I don't really know why. They were talking about it and they said it might be because Kerrigan and you just don't want to deal with the Kerrigan pickup. But
Yeah.
it's Kerrigan was always a thing on that map, so and she's usually getting banned anyways.
Like now?
Yeah.
Turin says first time you said it was right. It's from Lord of the Rings. I'm sticking with Turin.
Turn. All right. Sounds good. And we have Sylvanas, Kerrigan looking to be the bans. That does leave shots Ballstat open, and he was more than happy to play it last time if the Sylvanas ban goes through.
Yeah, able to use that to pretty solid effect. And on a map like Tomb of Spider Queen, it's a very heads-up and conscious decision to take Sylvanas off the table. LSU with the first pick, they have options like Zool to consider. We've seen some value out of Kael'thas throughout the sets this afternoon. Ballstad isn't the most valuable hero on this map, but he is someone that you see go early in drafts that could come into play.
Yeah, I don't. I'd probably pick up Zool here. Maybe Zagara. Zool and Zagara are both open. Zool, Zagara, Falstad. So I feel like whichever one of those three the enemy team picks, you take the other two if you're Wizards. They're gonna take Rhaegar.
Interesting. And
Does this-
Turin says it's like Turin.
Turin. All right.
Turin. Got it.
All right. Sounds good. We have Kael'thas looking to be the pickup. Now, what I'm curious about is they saw the Rhaegar play from maybe Buzz last name or on stream,
Mhm.
you know, because they were in chat, and we know that Brightwing was very highly contested. So will we see a Brightwing ban? Is the question.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're going with this first pick, Rhaegar. I mean, Rhaegar is good. He's regarded as one of the best, if not the best, supports in the game these days. But with so many of these high-profile choices, like Zool floating out there, I feel like they could have gotten Rhaegar in the second and third pick. But they're all golden.
That's. I'm not imagining something, right? That's cool, Dan.
Them orc bros, though.
Yeah, 3 orcs.
That's
Wait, does that mean we're gonna get like the team orc? Is that?
that's.
Can we get Rexar? Smart.
Man, Smork. If we can get some Smorks in the chat.
Come on! I just want to see Smork. Oh, they banned Shrines because they're bored of playing it.
Oh, okay. So I
makes
can
sense.
tell you one thing. I've seen Gul'dan do some work. Dankstrom, who is on Wizards IRL, played some unranked games with me the other night, and he can attest. Gul'dan can do it to you. If you just let him kind of hang out on the side and you're not able to dive on him the right way, he's gonna melt people's faces.
Yeah.
And LSU, so far they seem to thrive on these, not always seen setups. So I'm sure someone knows how to use him to great effect.
Yeah, he's a sustained damage mage, right?
Mhm.
He doesn't follow the same play style as Kael'thas or Li Ming or Jaina. Really, you don't play him the same way you play a lot of other mages. You kind of play him like a Falstad, where you're just trying to spend your cooldowns and get into decent position and just try and keep that sustained damage going.
Mhm.
It's a really interesting playstyle if you can pull it off.
And that's the big thing. If you can pull it off.
Yeah.
Gul'dan, something that I would commend Blizzard on in general, these past few heroes that have come out and seems to continue with Ariel, is that these heroes play like an entirely unique and different way that you can't just be like, oh, this guy's like Vala but X. Like, no, like it is a whole different way to manage resources, it's a whole different way to approach doing damage and keeping yourself alive. So if someone is able to make the most out of a unique hero like that, they could do some crazy things.
Yeah, Lunara Brightwings looking to be the pickup here. Hecarim from LSU. Now, will we see the orc, like another orc come out? And I talked about this. Oh, it's Cho'Gall.
Whoa! What?
Whose genius idea was it to put Gul'dan, Cho'Gall, and Thrall on the same team? And Rhaegar. I feel like it's just going to be like a fight, 3v2, the entire, like, Gul'dan, Cho, and Gall are just going to be fighting Thrall and Rhaegar. Like, that, I don't...
This is gonna be interesting, and we do get some smorks in the chat. We're on a 2-minute delay, so it's cool. It's cool to see we got some smorks in the chat. But man, I can say for sure I have never seen a composition that was Rhaegar, Thrall, Gul'dan, and Cho'Gall. And like Wizards IRL, they're just like, what do we even take here? Like Leoric?
So I've actually seen a comp really similar to this, and we played it on Brawl with the Blues.
Oh.
And it was this, except instead of Thrall, we had Medivh. And you get Twisting Nether, Upheaval, Earthquake, and Reign of Destruction. And things die. In a large area, things die. So.
Oh man! In 2 minutes, look at my face when you're describing it, because that just sounds dirty. Like I was just sitting there with this frown, just like.
if you haven't watched it, the Brawl with the Blues, you can watch one clip of it, and we played Gazlo, Leoric, Gul'dan, and like Brightwing.
Yeah.
And the Punisher womboed with the Gazlo combo at 20 and Gul'dan combo, and the enemy team just disappeared. Like we literally just stopped. It was amazing.
Oh man. I mean we are set to see shenanigans to some extent, just by the merits of this composition alone. So no matter how they build these heroes, it's gonna be interesting, sure.
Yeah, well, I'm curious if it's a little bit of like we think we're the better team, so we're just gonna have fun. That's what it feels like to me. Right?
There are undertones of that, I could say, but it looks like we're gonna end up remaking a lot central server.
Okay,
which is fine.
That's fine with me. That's cool. You know, when you're playing at this high of a level, ping does make a difference, and sometimes. Yeah. Oh, you said he'll play.
Oh, I already left. Rip. Let me jump back in.
Okay, you got it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm on the East Coast, and I can tell you, I can feel it when I'm playing on the West Coast server.
I am on the East Coast also, Toronto.
Hey.
Yep. But I don't feel it that much. I'm gonna be honest. There'll be like, it's really weird. Sometimes I'll get a server and it'll be completely fine. Like some days it'll be completely fine. The other days I'll get the exact same server and it'll be like 1,000 ping. I'll just be like,
look at my face. Look at my face.
Oh, I'm going.
You might have missed it. I'll tell you, man. My face.
I saw it. You were like.
Yes, Baba Booey's Haloran impersonation, 100%, 100% accurate.
So if you're listening in chat and you don't pick Upheaval, Twisting Nether, Reign of Destruction, Earthquake, I'm mad, and
I'm mad.
I refuse to cast you anymore.
He's like, I'm mad.
I'll be pissed.
All right, 1 out of 10 players ready. I'm ready. I'm excited to see how this best of 3 plays out. This is for the finals. Sweet Synergy. Saturday Showdown. I need to like practice that.
That sounds like something that you're gonna need to do if you're hosting every week.
I think so. Except for next week.
Yeah.
I think so. How's it going, Inverum, by the way?
He's in chat. He smells funny.
Wish I wasn't a bot.
Yeah, he was in it, and he disconnected halfway through the game.
Oh, I saw that. I did see that. I do remember that.
And he just couldn't reconnect. His computer just died.
Feels bad.
And we still won because the John Cena jumped onto a gravel bomb.
If I remember right, that Brightwing bot was doing some work, though.
The Brightwing bot was doing work. It was just walking in and solo killing people. Like, we'd be like fighting 4v5 in the top, or like 4v4 on the top. We'd just see like Brightwing has killed Greymane. He'd be like, wait, what? Like, what's going on here? And Brightwing would like TP and be like, oh my god, brought Brightwing, the god.
He's out there giving people the business, man.
Yeah, giving the business.
All right, let's see. So the Wizards are on the left side. Let me go ahead and update the overlays while we load up. All right. Wizards IRL.
They want to go to Haunted Mines next match. Is that allowed? I don't even know if that's allowed.
I would assume not.
That'll also be my assumption.
All right, got it switched over in time for us to start this off. This is the finals, best of 3. Here we go. On the left side, we got Wizards IRL. You got Lazulia on Lunara, maybe Buzz is on Brightwing. Judge Bread on Zul, Dankstrom on Leork, Aqua Pro on Kael'thas.
Loktar, Ogar, Smork. And on the right side, we have Smork, Team Smork. I'm not even going to say their real name. It's Team Smork now with Shot on Gul'dan, Hakoder on Cho'Gall, Haas on Rhaegar, and Valkyrie on Thrall. We're going to see a little bit of exchange come out here. Leork taking a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, I mean, this level 1 burst potential is going to be a whole thing from LSU, and the Wizards are finding out what that's like. Chunked would be the word I'd use to describe. They're going to have to hit those wells early.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun game to watch. I just want to check out the talents here really quickly. Hakoder is actually taking a lot of damage, but Judge Bread getting really low, and Kael'thas trying to trade back a little bit of damage. Once he starts getting that burned flesh, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. And I'm curious, I don't know how the interaction works, but technically since Cho'Gall is 2 heroes, does it count as 2 heroes?
I actually don't know.
Because if he does, that would be busted.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough. 3 members of LSU hanging out mid. Thrall squaring off against Leork down here in the bot lane. The slow goes down on Valkyrie. The rotation from Lunar, the W just misses though, so Thrall is going to be able to get out of here. But it's going to be an interesting set of rotations when you have Cho'Gall on a 3-lane map.
And actually, we're seeing the what's it? Echoed Corruption at level 1 for Gul'dan. It's really cool talent, and if you pair it with the level 16 talent, which increases the damage of the, if you hit 3 puddles of corruption, whatever pools of corruption, it does bonus damage on hit, but it counts for every single one of the 6. So if you you hit 3 out of 6, it works once you get that reverse, and it's really a lot of damage. But thanks from actually taking a lot of damage, he's able to sustain thanks to Hakoder there. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going with Hakoder. What are you going with?
Hakoder, that works for me. Haas on Rhaegar has pretty low amount of health. Could have been a potential target, but maybe Buzz and Judge Bread decide to just go back up top, make sure that they can rotate. I feel like Leork really needs that Hardened Bones talent at level 4 before they can really try to stand up to the sustain and burst damage from LSU.
You mean Smork?
Team Smork.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll forgive that one. It's cool. You forgot. Anyways, Hakoder actually going on to Aqua Pro here. He's going to get Bone Prison. I just feel like they don't have enough damage to take down Cho'Gall right now.
Yeah, that should change going down the road because Aqua Pro on Kael'thas does seem to be looking for that Flame Strike build, and 8% of the health off Cho'Gall could be a whole thing if he goes for Burn Flesh level 7, which I would imagine he would. Or Leork, he does go for Hardened Bones, so Team Smork might not have the advantage they were thinking they had before.
Yeah, if he can land Drain Hope, it's going to be a lot easier, but as soon as he misses that Drain Hope onto Cho'Gall, the fight becomes really hard to win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something you call out in voice comms in team fights. If Leork misses his W, that's a lot of his sustain out of the window and a lot of his damage potential. Haas on Rhaegar up here with Hakoder putting some damage on this top lane. It gets some chip damage on the fort. The rope goes down onto Cho'Gall. Hakoder is able to get out of there before he has to worry too much.
And this, actually, we're seeing so it's kind of like the old Rhaegar build is what we're seeing out of Rhaegar right now, where he's going for that shield build, and Healing Totem going to get so much value out of Cho'Gall. Yes, you pretty much have to look for it if you're on the side of Wizards, because if you don't kill that right away, it's going to be 20% of Cho'Gall's max health, which is just a ludicrously large amount of health.
And on a 30-second cooldown, there stands to be a ton of value had out of that. The first one is dropped down. It's not interrupted. It's not really a part of the team fight, though. Maybe Buzz on Brightwing helping Judge break it out of there. Both teams more or less even on experience. 37 gems have already been turned in for Team Smork, though. That could lead to a snowball, potentially.
And I'm just looking in this bot lane, and this is probably just a super boring matchup for both sides. Both of them are just trying to sustain and not take too much damage. They're going to get into a couple scuffles, but it'll just be as soon as Thrall walks in, he gets Drain Hope, and that's about it. And in the mid lane, there is an engage coming out. Judge Bread actually getting chunked down a little bit here. Encoder going in hard, but he's not going to be able to secure a kill yet. Actually taking down Zul there with just a huge amount of burst from Gul'dan and Cho'Gall.
Having those towers depleted of ammo was absolutely critical to allowing that to happen. One thing that's tough about the Wizards' composition is that they do have Leoric down in the bot lane, and Leoric's the best answer against Cho'Gall. So to not have that, you know, percentage-based damage there to burn him down, Cho'Gall's going to be able to stick around a lot longer and do a lot more damage.
We're actually seeing Dark Descent, which increases Rune Bomb's damage by 5% for every takedown. Stacking up points. It's Cho'Gall's version of ability power at level 7, which is kind of interesting. Shot just under halfway to getting that Echoed Corruption fully finished, and once he gets that, it's going to be a lot of extra utility. What? Echoder in the mid lane here.
Using his Q to actually move in forward, and I think that could be instrumental. Kael'Thas does go down, but they do manage to get the first takedown on the Cho'Gall. Azulia, next to no health on Lunar, is able to get back behind, well, what used to be towers. He's hanging out close enough, secures another kill, and that's 3 off the board, counting Cho'Gall.
But they do get turned in, so Worth still had an experience. Gonna be interested to see what they opt to do here. We have talked about before how teams will tend to have a style they go for, strategy where there's like, okay, every time we get web weavers to do this. So we haven't, I don't believe we've seen LSU or Team Smork rather go for this. I don't think we've seen them on Spider Queen yet, so I'm interested to see what they opt for here.
I would imagine they're just going to stack one lane. I mean, you have Cho'Gall, he can do a bunch of damage. They are kind of split evenly across the lanes, though. So Haas by himself here with the middle web weaver. Up top, you have Gul'dan going up against Judge Bread. Haas does rotate up to turn this into 2v1. Uses the Pharaoh Lunge to put himself in position to body block Zul. I like that choice a lot. Totem goes down. They're going to start pressuring this top lane. Judge Bread has to start backing away.
Oh, he gets
Gul'dan damage. Woo! The long-range web weaver is a whole thing. Securing a kill there. Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, you have to be careful. That's a lot of damage. And we actually see Bloodlust, Reign of Destruction, and Upheaval. They didn't go for Earthquake, so I'm... You know what? Who are you? The Curie? Not cool, man.
He's mad. See, you done
I'm
made
sad.
Bob upset.
I'm sad. We're
Upset.
pissed.
You upset Bob.
I'm sure that he was like, all right, I'm going Earthquake, and then just got into game and reached 10 and was like, all right, you pick Thunder because oh, I picked Thunder. Not bad, team.
Twisting Nether and Upheaval should make for some very interesting plays as well. Top fort was claimed with this heroic advantage. You're going to help themselves to this bottom fort as well and the tower. Are they looking to press this even further, though?
Maybe they're actually just shoving this bottom lane super effectively right now. Gonna take out this bruiser camp, but the web weavers are spawning. So this is really the time for Wizards to come back against Team Smart.
Yeah, they're on even talent tiers. They're all up. They all have their heroics. This is definitely where they can start looking to make some plays. They rotate down to clear out this bruiser camp. They actually have the waves pushed up pretty well in the top of mid lane. It does buy them time to potentially go down, but they get the floor swept out from under them. Holy crap! 3 members go down in the blink of an eye. They do lose 1, but that's a full wipe on the Wizards. Wow.
Now, Lauren.
Yeah.
That ain't Falco. That ain't Falco.
Man, I saw that Upheaval slide them out of position. I was like, uh-oh. This could get ugly. And,
Oh, man.
ugly it did.
So
You
we're
go-
actually seeing like the full ability power build out of Gul'dan, where he's getting 15% extra ability power, so he's hurting a lot.
Oh, yeah, we saw that. Looking at these damage numbers, Gaul has 23,000. Thrall and Gul'dan both are not too far behind, 19 and 18, whereas Zul's leading the charge on the side of the Wizards in terms of damage.
Just looking at that flame strike damage, I don't think that Cho'Gall actually counts as 2 heroes, which is kind of sad, because that would have been really cool. I'm like, oh, new counter, because there's not enough counters to Cho'Gall already. All right.
It would have been interesting. It definitely would have put Cho'Gall on notice. Dangstrom on New York has to use E to get out of here, but he's a bunch of damage still. The W's not going to be there for him for the moment. Maybe Buzz does rotate down the mid lane before they get caught out of position. But right now, everything's slanting towards Team Swimmer. They have their tier advantage. They've got this Wombo set up again. Looking good for them.
I just want to see another upheaval. All the cooldowns are up. Kilder is in position. He could go for it. Don't walk too far forward or do this. There's Entomb. That's always going to Entomb his own demon. Woo! Happy feet.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of baited him into that. I like the idea of trying to engage there, but you are down a talent tier. You saw what happened the last time Upheaval came out. You're doing that at your own peril, and they're lucky to only lose 2 heroes in it.
I just don't know how you play into that, right? Because as soon as your DPS walk forward to get damage on, they're getting upheavaled, and none of their backline is mobile enough to dodge it. You do have Leaping Strike, so you could use that to dodge around, but they're just getting annihilated.
I think a key element there is that they went in there down a talent tier. To step far, to go out that far from your fort, being down a talent tier was just a gamble regardless of the situation. You're going to see Kael'thas go down again, and by the time they get 13, they're going to be staring down the barrel of level 16 talent tier, so it's all starting to repeat itself.
Yeah, and we're seeing the cooldowns start to come up again, so once this Rain of Destruction is up in about 30 seconds, we will probably see that Wombo combo again, and this is just, the more I think about it, the more and more this gets worse and worse for Wizards, because they can never contest boss, because as soon as they do, they're walking into Twisting Nether, Rain of Destruction.
Yeah.
They can't like face check because they're walking into Upheaval. It's such a bad position. This gives me hope that maybe this is actually a viable strat.
It could be. We have a pretty big engagement here. Heroes getting used left, right, and center. Zul's going to be the first to fall, but Cho'Gall is next to no health. Thrall does go down. They have to use the Molten Block to keep themselves alive. Lazulia is able to back away with the added movement speed. Dangstrom's going to try to keep himself alive with the W. Not going to be enough. 2 for 1 so far. The Cooters on the chase. Aqua Pro landing the Gravity Lapse. The Polymorph Leaping Strike from downtown secures the kill on Cho'Gall, taking some of the starch out of this web user.
What? Dagstrom's actually just about to respawn. He could look to fight this, but Shot just able to regen so fast with Blue in there. And something that you actually, I don't know how much you noticed it, but we saw why Rain of Destruction is considered not that great. He popped it down over a large area, and the DPS were just able to walk out without actually ever getting hit. Kael'thas and Nara were at really low health and were just able to kind of casually saunter off without being under too much pressure. And that's kind of like, it's a good zone control, but it's so unreliable that it creates issues.
Yeah, I agree. Like, leaving things up to chance at competitive levels of play, it always tends to be something that's frowned upon. When you're not able to confirm that damage and you're not able to rely on it, it's hard to really go for that choice. Didn't work out for him that time. The Flame Strike does go down on Haas. Dangstrom on New York. Having the Bright Wing poured in, lands the shield, keeps himself alive. The Polymorph goes down. With the Entombed, I think this is starting to swing back the way of the Wizards.
Oh my god,
not.
but the Twisting Nether damage just absolutely shredding through all of the side of Wizards, and then we're going to see Kael'thas go down, and there's nothing they can do. That looked like such a good position, and then Cho'Gall came in and was like, don't forget about me, I'm here too. And kind of did a lot of damage.
It was going so well. If I was on the Wizards, I would have gone in on that 100%. They did everything right, but that Twisting Nether with the level 16 talents here advantage just turned that around on them pretty hard.
Yeah, we talked about it, it's just such an issue because you can't fight in any enclosed space, and Tomb of the Spider Queen is just entirely enclosed spaces. So it's so difficult to play around, I guess.
I mean, another interesting thing to consider here is that Bloodlust is getting used in some of these team fights, and that's not something to just, ignore or sneeze at. Level 16 talents are here for Wizards 101. I was looking at those. Brightwing did go for Criterize. I think that would be a very big power spike for them in these team fights. An extra 25% damage on the likes of Thrall, on the likes of Cho'Gall, on the likes of Golden can definitely help turn some of these fights around for them.
Yeah, and now the boss has come down, so I'm looking forward to see Shot just kind of life tap, get that bonus ability power, and then sit on the keep with that Rain of Destruction and just put out a ton of damage. Doesn't actually look like that's what they're gonna do. Op 4. Cho a little bit sad that Lunar decided to jump over him, but looking to. I don't know what they're looking to do here, Lauren. They're kind of indecisive.
Yeah, they're kind of rallying together. I would commend Lazuli on that juke though. That was pretty good. Got the O response. He's just like, oh, all right. But here comes Team Smork. Here's the upheaval. Woo! Right into the twisting nether. You're gonna see Lunar get deleted, put on the milk box. Kael'thas to fall next. Dankstrom is able to E out. Zul goes down. Brightwing gets blown up. It's just Dankstrom, and I think this is game.
Zul actually almost carried that fight with the Poison Nova. He was so close. That Poison Nova hit, I'm pretty sure, every single member and was taking down so much health, but then the damage that came through was just so great. And I want to see this comp, Cho'Gall, Gul'dan, in a real game. Like in like a high level, like I want to see someone pull it out at HGC, you know? Like do it. Someone do it. GFE, Vox,
Take notes.
one of you. Come on.
Do it. I mean, I knew it was gonna be interesting, but I didn't give credit to how short that cooldown is on upheaval and twisting nether, because that came around often enough, much to the dismay of the Wizards. I can tell you that one. 22 takedowns to 9. Just they would start pressing those R keys and people would die, man. That was tough.
Yeah.
And Dyfer said Vox just beat Gale Force Esports.
Yeah. Yep.
What a time to be alive.
And it wasn't a 2-1. They 2-0'd them. And I was watching the second game a little bit. It looked pretty dominant. Looked pretty damn dominant.
Asking the admin a question here.
Is it, can they play on Haunted Mines?
It is, actually. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not sure. We'll figure that one out.
yeah, May May's checking on that. I mean, that upheaval twisting nether with Gul'dan and Bloodlust, that was. How do you even really prepare for that? Like you said during the game, when you know that that's coming down the pipe at like every serious engagement, how do you stick yourself out there? Because I don't know what to do in that situation.
I'm not sure, because they always fought in such tight chokes. Like they were always fighting at a point where they had to pretty much funnel into Cho'Gall. And
Right.
Cho'Gall was just like, whoop, get over here.
Yeah,
You know?
like yank.
Playing Scorpion or something. Just
I'm looking back. So I'm looking at the draft. Cho'Gall got picked last, and then Wizards IRL, they already locked in Lunara before Cho'Gall. if I'm
Yeah, it was-
remembering.
it was pretty much the last possible time you could ever pick Cho'Gall.
And then Leoric was the very last pick.
Yeah, but I feel, what if, now let me run an idea. What if they were like, all right, let's just run tankless and play Tychus?
I don't. The way that Wombo went, I mean, they were going to get.
They died anyways.
Like, I don't think Tychus would have had even the full minigun duration to even.
he would have like pressed minigun and then like gone to move his finger to the 8 key to auto attack and been dead.
Right.
Just
Like his
that's it.
ragdoll just would have shot off the map because he would have died during the upheaval, pretty much.
But at least Tychus can run and gun and get out.
Right.
Like, he can maybe dodge it.
Well, what I was gonna say, like, I was thinking of what the draft order was, because Lunara, if Lunara was Tychus and they had
That would've been
Leoric,
different.
that could have worked.
Yeah.
But having locked in that further sustained damage and relying on Kael'thas really to be that main burst option against, a high health pool hero like Cho'Gall and that kind of engage, that was tough. That was tough.
So maybe Buzz said, "We have a treat for you, stream."
Mm.
So you know what I think that means?
I'm wondering how this one's gonna
Think,
play.
think that means we're gonna see.
Mine's.
That's what I think.
Mine's hype.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe Buzz is the admin. Shot asked, "Can we play mines?" My first was like, yeah, hey, maybe. What?
Maybe.
Maybe. Now, I haven't seen mines in a minute. I'm getting invited to a custom game. Could it be Baba?
Is it mines? I'm eating a cookie.
Baba Booey? What a time to be alive, Baba. Fox and Healy taking down Gale Force Esports 2-0.
We're getting
Shocking the world. And here on the Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown, Haunted Minds for Game 2 in this best 3 in the finals. Wow. Got the draft link. Says BOE, but we're playing Minds. So, jump into your Wayback Machines, kids. We're going back. Going on a trip.
They have agreed that no sylphs.
That's fair.
And Cho'Gall apparently.
the Cho'Gall band. The Cho'Gall band. Damn. This one's gonna be interesting. Thanks from said, "Oh God, the Dusty Mind strats." Like, I almost forget how this map plays. Like, it has been a minute.
As much as I hate it, I love it at the same time.
You have an
It is one
abusive
of my
relationship
favorite-
with Haunted Minds.
It is one of my favorite objective maps. Like getting the skulls is my favorite objective. But the way it comes out after is my least favorite. I don't like. Really, I like going into the mines and killing the like gathering the skulls. I think that part's really cool, but I don't like how the rest of the map interacts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would be nice to see some variance in how they can approach that. I would agree there. Hoss is ready.
Like, I love the idea of having 2 maps in one. You know, having the upper level and the bottom level. That to me is like super cool. But unfortunately, the map is way too snowbally and not a lot of fun to watch.
So if someone puts a pyroblast on you and you go downstairs, the pyroblast is just gone, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm trying.
You can do that.
Now, Artanis can purifier beam someone downstairs even if he's upstairs, right?
I think so. And you can fly to the mine if you're fall stat from upstairs. As long as you get in range on the
How
map.
does that work?
I don't know, man. Coordinates.
Cool. All right, so the draft is underway, and I'm confused because
Yeah, they made it a 2 space instead of a 3 space, so you know it's weird vectors and stuff.
the young. Oh, I was about to say they were hovering Morales way too long. I was like, what the heck? Falstad, Kerrigan, Grammy.
And there again, we've agreed that there will be no Sylvanas. She will not be played.
Haunted Minds hype. No Sylvanas.
All right, now I'm looking for Hecarim from LSU to show me something kind of cool here. You know what I want to see? I want to see like Stitches, Tyrande, Medivh.
Man.
You know, Gorge, Portal. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see on this map.
I want to see. You know what? Oh, Falstad was already banned. We no tetherball this game.
What? Oh, is that the
Dude.
Butcher combo?
the fabled tetherball, as it was christened in the Cherry League finals. Lamb to the slaughter. Mighty Gust. You Mighty Gust everybody else back. The person stuck on the post is just swaying around in the wind. The tetherball, dude.
See, I heard tetherball and I thought, all right, that must be Butcher Chen. Because that one would be cool. You just ride them around in circles.
Yeah, the barrel. That would be tough. Yeah. But LSU going for Tassadar Arthas, still, that's kind of keeping the cards close to your vest. They still have a lot of options in where they can go with their composition. Wizards are IRL showing a little bit more character thus far. We're going to see Tracer get picked up with Brightwing. Interesting pairing.
I'm curious if they were like, oh god, they got Tassadar, we don't want to play against Tracer.
Yeah, Tassadar Tracer, that can be infuriating for sure.
I feel like our jobs as analysts literally don't matter right now because like it's Haunted Minds, and you can be like, yes, so you need to time the siege camp perfectly to make sure that it effectively slows down the push of the golem, because these strategies are really important to you Hero League players.
Yeah, you definitely want to take notes here on how to approach this map, because you're going to see this Kappa.
Oh, you're going to see it everywhere.
I mean, I wonder, Haunted Minds has to come back someday, right?
Yeah.
But it probably is going to feel like a whole different map by the time it does, if it ever does.
I just hope they keep this like lower level, upper level. Like, I really hope they keep that.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We see ETC get banned out. Wizards IRL have a ban to pick for LSU. Helps themselves with a couple more heroes. Looking at this, it's hard to say who you want to try to ban out. I mean, Rhaegar wouldn't be the worst idea. I would imagine we'd see another warrior, but they want to make sure there isn't any of the Tyrande shenanigans after the root from Arthas. They ban him out.
So we're probably going to be seeing Syndragoza because it's like pretty much having a Sylvanas.
Yeah, and agree. That's tough. Let's agree to ban out Sylvanas, and then the Arthas being able to lock down structures. That's rough. That's rough.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a Bloodlust comp again. It's
Man.
gonna be a Bloodlust comp again. Yeah.
We're in for a time. We're in for a time 100%. Illidan getting the support from Rhaegar and Tassadar, Arthas being able to lock down structures. As difficult as it is to get away from Illidan already, Arthas being able to slow down targets with his E means once Wizards IRL go into a team fight, they have to win it, or they're not getting out. Like, I just don't see how it plays any other way.
Yeah, Bloodlust Syndragoza is disgusting and scary, and But Lily Johanna, so they're reading the Bloodlust comp, and they're just like, nope, it's cool. We're just gonna get every blind we can.
It's chill.
Yeah, we got this.
I actually like this comp a lot for Wizards to go up against Illidan. Polymorph, tons of blinds, sustained healing. Because on the side of LSU, outside of this last pick, they don't really have much in the way of burst damage. So Brightwing's passive healing with Lily's consistent healing definitely stands to weather the storm and give Greymane the time to do what he does best.
Now, I actually have a question for you, Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're seeing second support DPS Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I know there's Medivh. All right, that's cool. But anyways, I know this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been saying that second support Lily with DPS has been OP, sleeper OP for months.
For months. For months. Whoever's been saying that, they're on to something, and they've been on to something for months. For months.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I think it was like 3 months ago, or like no, a couple months ago, as we saw like Lily run as like a second support. It was actually like the spring qualifiers, summer qualifiers. Lily was on his second sport, and they were winning every game. And I go on Twitter, and I just see Lauren tweet, I've been saying Lily, like second support Lily with sleeper OP for months, and it's like right? Given like the arm raise or whatever. I'm like, it's that like, oh, all right, maybe she's OP. And then like a couple weeks later we see it again, and it's exact same tweet comes out. Lily's in sleeper OP for months. And then like 2 days ago, Lauren tweets out, I've been saying Lily is sleeper OP for months.
I'm telling you, man, she is in the right situation. I keep tweeting that because I want people to know I'm not just saying that like just for kicks, just to sound like, oh, I'm trying to be cool and being like, oh, I have been saying it for months. That's the point.
You gotta raise your arm when you say it too, right? You gotta be like, for months.
For months. It's important. It's important. That's awesome, man. Because like at the outset of that, I was genuinely like, all right, like where is it going? And then once I started catching on, I was like, oh, all right, cool.
I was wondering when you would realize it was you, and if you were gonna cut me off at the end and be like, for months. But
I was letting it roll at that point. I was in. All right,
anyways, we see like the Illidan Never Die comp. So Vicuria's just like gonna have the greatest day of his life on Illidan here.
Oh, he's gonna go like full ham. Like it's gonna be insane. And I mean, he's just gonna thoroughly enjoy Bloodlust, which I'm assuming is what we're gonna have. I had to update because they switched sides on us, making the lives of these casters more of a challenge. Scooter with the forehead.
Now, see, I want to point something out, because if this map wasn't coming back into rotation, they wouldn't have updated graphics on the maps. And they've updated the graphics for up and down. So this map is coming back.
I did notice that. Interesting. On the left side, we got LSU trying to close this out with a 2-0 to complete the finals. Juki's on, Tassadar, shot on Arthas. Fury is on. Who is he on there? Illidan? Also on Rhaegar. And Ekarim on Medivh.
Yeah, and on the Gage coming out. And Dangstrom's gonna walk out. Anyways, we have Lazulia on Tracer, Dangstrom on Lily, Judge Red on Greymane, Aqua Pro on Johanna, and maybe Buzz on Raywing. But Lazulia getting low, gonna pop that Rico, just barely dodging out that Howling Blast action, but Dangstrom gonna go down 2 here. And Hector actually getting taken low too, but gonna be able to disengage.
Now, see, this is going to be a very interesting game, and I feel like that team fight will more or less be the story. That last pick, Medivh, is really backbreaking to the kind of damage that the Wizards are going to try to put out. Those Force of Wills timed at the right moment to keep some of these team members alive are going to be all the time that Shot and Vicurion and Illidan are going to need to get these kills.
Yeah, for sure. And we actually see a solo lane Tassadar versus Brightwing, which is kind of interesting because Brightwing has very little wave clear, like has Arcane Flare, but doesn't actually do that much. Judge Bright actually getting chunked out a little bit in this top lane, but actually Medivh going down. Nice turn. Brightwing actually TP's up there, trying to get a little bit of advantage, but nice job there for Wizards.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting that I forgot about this map is how small it is rotating between top and bottom. So that is something that we could see happen pretty often. It doesn't cost Brightwing much to teleport up and then just kind of make her way down to the bottom lane again. Mines will be open in 10 seconds. Gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and we see Hecarim J is back on that Medivh. Gonna just try and put out a bunch of damage. Illidan continuing to go in. Dangstrom getting chunked out here, but they're gonna go into the mines right away. Look to spot this up. For those of you who don't remember, the way this map works is you go into the mines, you kill these just undead, you pick up their skulls, and the more skulls you have. This is real. I didn't realize how gruesome this map was. Go kill a bunch of skeletons and grab their skulls. Let's
go down here. You hunt down undead guys. You take their skulls. You just like, got your skull, thanks.
And then you give it to the giant skull overlord. and he comes out and is powerful based off how many skulls you give him, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much big team fight. Aqua Pro uses their unstoppable to try to keep themselves alive. First to fall. Tracer used the E. Doesn't get him out of there. It's going to be another takedown for LSU. Illidan jumping all over Brightwing, not able to get away. Dangstrom lined up next on Lily, trying to escape. But like we were talking about, it's hard to get away from Illidan. They do manage to get upstairs, but Illidan's going to chase them back. Dangstrom does have the sustained healing to keep themselves up, but 7 health. Oh, no!
Lily sleeper OP! Lily sleeper OP!
I've been saying it for months. I mean, Dangstrom literally had 7 health when Illidan went down.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh man, that's what Tilt is made of.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Dangstrom isn't really one to B-step, but that would have been a B-step worthy moment, I feel. He is back down here with no health, pretty much. Feeling emboldened. Hoss trying to get out of here, but Lazulia is showing that Tracer can chase some people down as well. Getting a takedown.
Yeah, and Hecarim J might be able to get out. Oh, actually it goes down here. This sacrifice will not be in vain, though, as Arthas and Tast are able to escape, too. And this is actually getting a little bit closer, but with an 82 skull golem, I was going to say Punisher, but that's not the word I was looking for. It's going to be interesting. And as we talked about actually earlier, oh my, did you see that? Hold on, things are about to get grave.
Yeah.
Man, that's good.
Yeah,
But
Sham 2 would appreciate a pun like that. That one's pretty on the nose. Yeah.
anyways, you want to spawn these siege camps so that they assist in doing damage to your enemy's golem, and generally you want to do it when they walk past the enemy team's gate.
Yeah, the Wizards showed some signs of life towards the end of that mine phase, but the damage has been done in a lot of ways. At 82 skull golem against 18 is a pretty stark difference, and it's starting to pay off here for LSU. They're going to push in this bottom lane. Towers are going to fall. Dangstrom position forward on Lily, interestingly enough. Shot has to start backing out. That portal goes down. Hoss able to just get out of there. That was close.
Yeah, and actually this 82 skull golem not actually doing too much work here, but we're going to see them rotate up to this top lane. And they did draft a really good Illidan comp, but this is a really PvE map. It could actually pressure this mid bruiser camp.
Yeah, the only other camp left on the board does get picked up by LSU before the rotation from Dangstrom and crew can get there in time, but Dangstrom is going to want to be careful. Does make it back to his top fort with Aqua Pro, but the towers are out here of ammo in the top lane. LSU continuing to press an advantage.
Yeah, they're going to look for an engage here as Illidan goes in, going to go on Dead Bread here, but Hecarim J is actually kind of low, so he needs to back out. He needs to be a little bit careful. He is a bit squishy on that Medivh, but oh my god, Johanna getting popped. Tracer also looking to go down, but able to just barely escape with 60 health. But Illidan going to look to keep on going forward. Maybe Buzz in a little bit of a position here, but Haas is going to keep going. Haloran.
Lazulia is showing true signs of bravery, staying within feral lunge range for that long. Ends up paying for it, losing their life. Greymane, the only person left. First fort of the game is going to drop in the top lane. 2 levels up. Ahead are LSU. They're going to hearth back. Get ready for the next mine phase.
So, for those of you who still don't remember this map, little thing, if you look on the map, you can actually see what looks like 2 tombstones. And that is actually where the Grave Golem will spawn on their next... Oh, shot. Sorry.
Oh, I missed it.
He died to the fort.
Hey. Oh, he's mad. He's upset.
Yeah, he's pissed.
I would. Family show shot.
Anyways, if you look on the map, that's where the golems will spawn next time. The reason this map was taken into rotation was because as you get later and later into the game, it almost becomes impossible to defend because the boss gets to the core and is just able to, like, you can't kill it before it kills the core.
It's going to be interesting. Haas is actually down here doing a slash dance in advance of the mine phase showing up. Akari on Illidan, jumping out here, feels emboldened by the force of will, eats a good amount of damage, gets shielded up by Tassadar. Tracer trying to do what he can to keep Dangstrom alive, but that ley line seal locking the members up long enough for Lily to get taken down, and this heroic advantage is real for LSU.
Yeah, and he's going to keep going in. Tracer actually able to just barely blink out after using recall. Gonna get sped up, but the dive comes through from Illidan. He's going to get polyed. This is their chance to kill him. Lazulia going to look to keep going forward, but actually opts to back out. A little bit scared there.
Yeah, that was a free kill. I mean, Lazulia could have chased him down pretty easily and gotten a kill there. I'm sure Vicuria's like, oh, thanks. Like, if you're just going to let me go, like, that's cool. And meanwhile, we'll help ourselves to some skulls downstairs, too.
Yeah, gonna have to offer those skulls up to. I actually don't know what you do with the skulls, right? Because do you offer them to the Gravekeeper, or is it like they just create a powerful golem? Right.
Hey, man. Some you know, golems. Some people drink whole milk to get big and strong. Some people devour skulls to get big and strong. It's a personal choice.
All right. That
Life
makes
decision. Not for everybody. But this golem's gonna hurt, man. 78 and rising for LSU. The boss golem goes down. It's gonna be a 90-10 slanting towards LSU. But Wizards were in a tough spot. They couldn't really go down their heroics and try to make a stand for that. So they were more or less forced into this position.
Yeah, and 90 Skull Golem is going to be a lot of power, and that's going to be really tough to defend for the side of
Wizards.
Wizards. That's what I was looking for. I knew it was maybe Buzz's team, but I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, the side flip was doing a
Messing
number
with-
on me too.
It's
But,
Team
we-
Smork versus Wizard, right?
Team Smork. Yeah. And we can confirm the Bloodlust hype is back. Golem's gonna start barreling down here with a 90 skull advantage. And here we go, Syndrigosa locking down them structures.
And Archon. And the engage comes out. Lazulia getting chunked out really low. Victory looking to continue going forward. He's able to just, Recall is able to save her life. Lives with 10 HP, able 30 HP. Metamorphosis comes out. Blankula is there for Lazulia. And Illidan just tunnel visioning super hard. Bug Graham is going to come out. Judge Bread looking to go down here. But actually, Illidan goes down. He's going a little bit too far. Shot getting chunked out too. He might go down. The heals are there, but barely. And Haas actually in a bad position now. The Force of Will is used on him to try and protect him, but Dangstrom looking to run forward here, Lauren.
They gotta try to get something more off this, but the keep does go down. They're not able to chase after the members of LSU. That could have been a huge opportunity for the Wizards to turn this thing around and try to get back into this game. But during this whole time, they lose the bottom keeper. Look how much health is still left on this Golem, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is kind of why it was taken out of rotation, because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of counterplay after you lose the skulls, and it leads to very snowbally matches. If they had drafted correctly and you had a 90 skull golem at 10 minutes into the game, you could usually end the game, which is kind of scary to think about.
Yeah, I mean, this is your quintessential snowball map for sure. And then conversely, with only a 10 skull map, you're not even able to take down the fort wall in the top lane. Like, that hurts.
Yeah, Tassadar is obviously a power pick on this map with Mule, with that shielding on the towers, able to just keep them alive and almost get no value out of the golem.
Yep, and here comes LSU yet again trying to press in this top lane. They do have their 13 talents over the members of the Wizards. One of the towers is going to fall. The next one's sure to follow after. Not long for this world. The Water Dragon goes down, and here we go. The Force of Will keeping Tassadar alive long enough, but Greymane is going to be the first one to drop. Lily goes down as well. Johanna gets blown up. I think this might be the beginning of the end, Baba.
Oh my god, Juki lived with like 40 health. That is so saddening if you're on Wizards, but I mean, I'm assuming they just look to have fun. I really like their draft. Support Lily is sleeper OP, and unfortunately, they fell a little bit too far behind early, and they were able to snowball a bit. Hackgrim having a little bit of fun with these portals over here, but GGs are going out, and that's gonna be game. And winners of the first Sweet Synergy tournament for season 2 are Team Smork or LSU, but Team Smork is more correct.
Team Smart. Team Smart. Can confirm. Team Smart. I mean, thanks for the nostalgia trip. Took us down memory lane. I haven't seen Haunted Mines in a minute. So it was interesting to see that. Baba Booey sniffing out the updated assets for the graphics, so it could be
It's coming back.
on its way back in there. So get your strategies right. Get your Sylvanas play in there. Get your Syndrigosas.
And if you were watching that, get your Twisting Nether upheaval Reign of Destruction.
Dude, that was those were wombos on a scale like you just don't see that every day.
Yeah, those were pretty happy feet, you know. Oh!
Yeah.
Daddy Falco! Daddy Falco!
That was cool though.
Yeah.
LSU is able to secure their first victory, season 2, week 1. The very first Sweet Synergy Saturday Showdown. It's been a lot of fun. This is going to be happening every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Outside of next week, I should be here most Saturdays. This is a lot of fun, Baba, but this is the first time we got the cast together. We tried to cast Cheerlead, but the scheduling snafu out of our hands.
I was pretty sad about that. I was looking forward to casting. But
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed casting with you today. That was a lot of fun. Got to make a lot of jokes. It was pretty bold strategy, but it ended up paying off.
And then we're slated to do Meta the Storm on Monday. You have to pick a hero out. See who you want to educate the kids on. That'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
About that. GG's. Yeah, but that's gonna be it. Hit the follow button here. You can follow Sweet Synergy at Sweet Synergy. Yes, you see all their stuff in the top right corner. I'm at _Haloran on Twitter, twitch.tv/Haloran. Where can they find you, Bob?
You can find me on Twitter at Bababooey Gaming and on Twitch at /BababooeyHots. Super easy. But, I had a lot of fun. Hopefully we can do it again sometime. I gotta go get dinner because I'm starving.
Yeah,
So.
I could definitely I can go for some food too. Feeling the low blood sugar a little bit. But yeah, maybe Buzz. Thanks for having us. Always a ton of fun. But for now, this is gonna be it. Hope to see you guys here next week. I want to catch up on some of these VODs and see how these crazy regional sets have gone. And see you guys next time.